Welcome to Alpha Wednesdays, where today we're slicing through the social fabric to ask a provocative question. Are you an elitist? As we dive into this contentious arena, our panelists will peel back layers of privilege, perspective, and power. Are elitism and meritocracy mutually exclusive, or do they weave together in the tapestry of society? Let's unravel these complexities together. Get ready for a riveting debate that might just challenge your view of the elite and yourself.
All right, guys. Alpha Wednesdays, we're in the building right now. We're a little bit late. Of course, we had some technical difficulties, but we're ready to go. We got a crazy chess game going on right now down low. We got Soul in the building. Second time on the stream.
This is checkmate right here.
And he's about to checkmate.
In 5 moves.
He's playing the Juice Man. The Juice Man's he's the first time on the stream. And he's coming to L right away.
It's checkmate.
We got A's. That means check. I mean, you lose the game if it's checkmate.
Myself up. That try to take your knight. I thought it was. I would turn that knight into a pawn and fuck you up. I think you took my piece.
Is the game over? Checkmate.
Yeah, that was over. That was game 1.
All right, guys. A little bit more. Just a little announcement. Somebody celebrate. Let us know the game's over, so we can kind of move forward. We got
game over. Game over. Restart. 1-0.
All right.
So
they're gonna be playing in the background as well as having the conversation with us. So we'll have like the two-way screen going on right now. Normally Alpha messes around and we have him gaming, but right now we're gonna do this chess game. We got AZ. AZ was out last week. AZ's back in the building.
I'm back. Let's ride. Let's go.
Back in the building. Back in the building. Alpha's gonna get on it. Now we'll do the main showrunner when Alpha jumps on. In the meantime, we got everybody see the Tom Brady roast? Anybody? What you guys?
I heard it was wild.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
They were talking about like fucking his wife and stuff.
They destroyed Giselle for sure. She got dismantled.
I think that was the whole point. That was Tom. I think the whole point of that was for Giselle to get roasted. Tom was like, "Watch me get back at her." It was all part of this master plan. He's the GOAT for a reason.
But I mean, good for Tom. Most people are too afraid to even do a roast.
Yeah, he's the real GOAT. He's the real GOAT after that one, to be honest, because they really threw all the haymakers possible. They didn't stop. So it wasn't just Giselle. It was literally like every scandal. I even started questioning his sexuality. I thought he was like in the. I don't know what was going on, but I just think it was just some like still the jokes.
Or like here, because
did you watch it, AZ?
I saw the highlights, but I wasn't able to watch the whole thing.
That is not a move.
I saw he got butthurt with Wilson Robert Kraft.
Is these for?
Well, they were roasting is he basically giving him a massage, hinting that he was gay. That was in the very beginning.
I can't really hear you with the chess game.
Hey, chess fellas, listen. There's got to be, if you guys aren't muted.
I got you. We'll chime in.
Yeah, but if you guys are having side combos, if people are talking, just mute yourselves in the back, just so you know. That's kind of one of the house rules of somebody speaking, just because it makes the playback better. But that was in the beginning when Jeff Ross was in there. He basically hinted that he was gay, and then like that happened throughout the roast, but only that time he kind of got upset. Maybe because of Robert Kraft. I don't know. That was kind of weird. I didn't know why he got so mad about it. I thought he was joking, but people said he was serious.
Did you watch the Dynasty documentary?
Yeah, I watched all of it.
That's pretty good.
I mean,
Robert Kraft, entrepreneur. I like him.
Oh man, Soul's in the building right now. Soul's in the building. That was a Robert Kraft. Like I was a part of the Dynasty documentary. That wasn't really the Patriots thing.
It was Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft is a skis ball, man.
Yeah, he paid for it and produced it.
Yeah, for sure.
He was paying for the prostitutes. He was taking his private jet down to.
Stay on topic, Robert. Stay on topic. Stay on topic. Stay on topic. That has nothing to do with the documentary. But yeah, he paid for it. Apple shot it. Him and Apple, but you could tell he had 100% creative control in it. You could tell he had an agenda to push. He had a narrative he wanted to get down, and it worked. I mean, Patriots had 20 years of them, saying who's the best, Tom or Bill, who's better, and I think Robert Kraft just inserted himself in the conversation. So
exactly, I knew it was like that when his son kept coming on. It's like, bro, get your son off the screen. No one knows who this guy is.
That was also like his son coming out. He's going to be the new Kraft, the new face of the Kraft type brand too.
Which he doesn't have it. He's Robert Kraft is better looking than he is, and he's like 90.
Hey, what do you think about Robert Kraft's looks?
Robert Kraft's looks? It's Alpha Wednesday. We throw the smoke out. So Soul just said, a white boy joke that was filled with a Tom Brady roast, filled with white boy jokes. So
what's a white boy joke?
White boy jokes is gay, but not really gay. Like play aggressively playing gay is the white boy joke. So
Ola Do It probably gets half of that.
yeah, you get half that joke.
That's racist.
Hell yeah, it
Well,
is.
You know,
Alpha One's
Alpha Wednesday. This is a everybody platform, so anybody can come on, everybody can get roasted, anybody can give their say. So it's not like we're not.
when I saw Bill Belichick on my flight last week, like I had boarded, and then he walks on and he's putting his bag right above me, and we made eye contact, like, and like, hey, you know who I am, type of thing. And I've never frozen so much in my life because he's like the scariest motherfucker ever. So I didn't say shit to him, and then he sits down like right across from me, and the stewardess comes up to him and asks what he wants to drink. And I've never seen somebody look so disgusted in my life. She asked him, and he just mumbled that he wanted ice. And that was it. It was the funniest shit ever.
Not even a water?
No, he just wanted ice, man.
That's so savage.
Shout out to him for flying in coach with the regular people, though.
Oh, man, you know I don't ride coach. Why would you say something like that? Don't lie to the viewers.
Shout out to
First class only over here.
Riding coach, baby.
It was funny because I was flying to West Palm Beach, and that's where Robert Kraft had all his massages, was in West Palm. So I don't know if Bill's going to the same place or what.
So why wasn't Billy B on the private jet?
Well, he was doing draft coverage for ESPN the night before, so they probably flew him out and then, put you on a first class Delta flight home, and he said, "Fuck it, let's go." I'm trying to get on TV because Robert Kraft blackmailed me from getting the Falcons job. So
Well, honestly, you know how I know this story's not true? Because you said Delta and not American.
Wait a minute. Why was Robert Kraft? Why was Bill Belichick at the draft? He's not even on a team.
he was doing ESPN coverage. He was on ESPN the whole night.
Oh,
Hey,
no way.
Can we add airline discussion to the runner? Best airline?
Delta, no question, no competition.
Bro, I think it's got to go American.
Yeah, but
Delta.
let's keep it structured, guys. Let's keep it structured. We'll
If you say American, that just means you've never flown Delta.
Bro, Delta's gas, man.
Man,
Delta is like the equivalent of people that wore Abercrombie in elementary school.
I flew Delta 4 times in the last 10 days, and like my experiences were not great. My flight, I had a flight 2 days ago, and the Wi-Fi wasn't working, the screens weren't working, like nothing was working, and I don't know. I just didn't have the best experience in the last couple weeks with them. But I had to switch to Delta because I'm gonna be flying every week again, and I can't do that. Like I can't do American anymore out of Detroit. It's just not gonna work.
Right, I was the same way. I was flying out of Michigan. I had to take Delta. It depends where you're traveling. I would agree with that.
Bro, United is consistent though. They're C class, but it's consistent.
Let's give it up for Ole Do It again for once again coming on the platform and not just drifting us from everything we were talking about, dominating the combo, and just let's talk about airlines. Like what's that got to do? If you're gonna do that, like find like a gap where it's kind of a dead silence. There's nothing else. Then we can hit that.
Well, let me ask one more question, and then I'll follow the agenda. Hey Soul, are you really playing chess?
So Soul and Juice right now they're battling.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Let's stick to that script that you sent. Let's go through those. Some of those were good questions, some talking points. Bring them up.
Keep us on track.
All right, everybody, relax. Anybody else want to conduct the show? Who else wants to? Who else wants to be the host?
The host has to host, man. You got to be a conductor. We're the symphony. Make the orchestra happen.
Exactly. You got some high power instruments here, and if you can't control them, then you got to pass it off.
Conduct. Steve Jobs.
Might not be the right orchestra.
A lot of those topics we're going to talk about a lot of those AI stuff, but we have a lawyer coming on, and he was like, "Yo, bro, you can't give me 2 hours before notice." So he wants more time. So we're gonna push some of those questions. But we'll talk about them, and then we'll address them, and then we'll kind of open them up, and then we'll next week, I think, or 2 weeks, we'll dive deeper in them.
Why do you need a lawyer on to talk AI? Like, what's the perspective that they're supposed to be bringing?
Let me get to the fucking show list really quick because I don't want to.
Did you send the show list?
I sent the show list like 15 times.
Did you see it? Ola Do It?
How come nobody saw it today?
Oh,
I saw it. Start off the top. Passion. What's your passion?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's like before Alpha gets on, because the elitist question is going to be the main runner right now. Has anybody lost their passion or felt like they just are kind of going through the motions? Let Juice start this off since he's the first time on the stream.
Juice. Passion.
Have you ever lost passion or felt like you're just going through the motions in your day-to-day operations?
But you just keep doing it, and then you get over it.
So I think that's kind of I don't think that's losing your passion. I just think that's kind of your everyday kind of motions. I think when you lose your passion, you're at a complete standstill and you got to pivot to find new passion.
Seasonal depression disorder.
No, alhamdulillah. I mean, yeah, everybody has those days, but never really lost passion for the main goal.
Family first.
You push through that.
Financial freedom.
Yeah, what would you say your number one passion would be right now?
Alhamdulillah, if you live a good life, just make money.
Money and living the good life. Okay, I like that.
That's deep.
That's super deep. So go ahead, since you two are next to each other. Go ahead, Sol.
My passion, building and creating.
I like it. Have you ever felt like you lost that passion for the certain things you're building?
Building, creating, business, company, revenue, marketing, sales, profit.
Yeah, but have you ever lost passion in doing one of those?
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, I do think seasonal depression just winter's tough, man. Like it's long, and like once it hits spring, I'm ready to go again. Like I got to start spending my winters in Arizona or something.
So you're saying the season affects your passion of your day-to-day operations?
Yeah. I think Michigan, it's just like, I do love Michigan, but winters are tough. Like you can forget what you're doing, and then you get reminded when something good happens.
So I think when you lose something, it's kind of like it's not like a lost and found type of question. You know what I mean? It's not like I lost it, and then I found. It's kind of like if you lost your passion, like is your new passion finding the new passion? Like is it completely pivoting? Not like I lost passion for like 2 months and then I found it once I got some sun on my face. But
I'm trying to start a new company, and I got to find a new passion.
All right, yeah, I like that. AZ, what do you got for us? You ever lose passion, or you ever in your day-to-day operations or the things that you're doing?
I mean, I don't really look at like passion as like day-to-day things. It's more for me. It's like a means to an end. So like my work and everything I do, I really don't give a shit about what I do for work. Like as long as it's like getting me to my end goal, which is like putting a roof on our head, having a family, being able to do the things I want, go on vacations, etc. Like those are my passions. Like don't really give a shit about how I get there. I just want to get there. Because I don't I don't really look for joy out of my work. It's just a means to an end. Like I'm not somebody who works to live.
All right, so you're a family man. Your passion's your family.
Yeah, and doing fun shit, man. Like I got season tickets for the Lions, and I go to Liverpool every year. And my wife and I like to go on nice vacations. Like I want to do shit like that. So if I got a job that's gonna let me do that, I don't really give a shit what it is. Those are things.
Can we detour for 1 second? Can you talk about the Lions season tickets?
Yeah, after let Ole do it go, and then we'll detour all you guys want because you guys love fucking detouring. Let's go, Ole, do it. What you're up? The question is, have you ever lost your passion? Or what is your passion? And what have you done like when you lost that passion? If you like, what have you done to?
Listen, man, I don't care anything what you're talking about. The only thing that matters on this planet is time. What do you do when you're extremely wealthy? You don't work. You basically buy your time back. That's everybody's end goal, whether or not they want to admit it.
So your passion is timekeeping.
My passion is time. Is time in life. That's it. That's all that matters.
I never heard that. I like that.
What if I told you time's an illusion?
Imran, what do you actually like? Ole, what are you actually interested in? Like this is such a cop out answer.
My end goal is to have my time to do whatever I want to do.
I know, but what is that? Like,
your passion is getting your time back.
I mean, the thing is, passions, you change as a person. You're not the same person you were 3 years ago.
But what are you into right now?
What am I into right now?
Yeah.
Putting all my efforts towards owning my time. Literally. Like it's that simple, man. Like why do we work? You work to eventually retire.
So you don't do anything for fun or anything like that?
I mean, of course I do.
You're constantly working?
Of course I do things for fun.
Alpha's in the building, everybody. The question didn't have anything to do with fun, but if your passion correlates with fun, then
I mean, what are you passionate about? Like just being like, yeah, I'm really into working. Like that's not like a passion.
I'm not. I mean, I think that you could expand on it and say, okay, time and people.
I think passion is how you define life. So what do you live for? What do you really live for? Are we living with a purpose? What's the purpose of life? Can we answer that tonight? Does anybody have the answer?
The purpose of life is to be cool and fine with understanding that we'll never know.
We'll never understand cool.
Our brains weren't designed to understand the meaning of life.
I actually agree with that. I agree with that. I don't think our minds can comprehend how we got there.
We weren't designed to comprehend, bro. Like Will an ant ever be able to comprehend what a human does? No. Will
We're not ants, though,
will
We're
bro.
not ants. So
will a
human
micro,
beings are
will a
definitely
microbe,
different.
but will a
Would you say
microbe ever be able to comprehend what an ant does? It has no recollection. It has no understanding of what the world of like even like a snail, and it just keeps
True.
going up level from there. So how do we know there's not another level above us that we have absolutely no capability to understand?
We're on this earth to create. That's why we're here.
No, we're not. Yeah, but
No way.
at the end of the day, so whatever you said just now about will the ant ever create and stuff. So we can at least agree something created the ants, and there was something that created this design that we say is like scientific research and whatever.
Oh, for sure. Like, all the smartest minds throughout history have agreed on that.
So
you can put us.
would you say that, like, we asked if the ant would ever understand itself or understand what a human would do, but do you think the one who created that would understand the purpose of the ant's purpose in life and the human's purpose in life? Like, if you made something, would you understand its purpose?
Oh, definitely.
So,
you have to. When you look at how complex the systems are, how intricate they are, and how they all interact, whatever
sure,
made
exactly. Yep.
is fully aware of how every level interacts with the level above it.
Yeah, and that's amazing. That's like something there's science behind that. There's structure, there's purpose. And the one who created that gave its creation a purpose, a guidance. Otherwise, you make something, you just leave it there. You create this beautiful thing that just comes together, whether you think it came together by random or chance. It still has thought, it has emotion, it has reaction and free will. Nobody can ever define free will. Yet we have it, but we try to fight it. And then,
but you know what the difference is? The difference between humans and everything else is understanding of our own mortality and consciousness. Like,
isn't that a little subjective though? Like the whole like thing about like understanding what the meaning of life is. It's like, so what is meaning to begin with? Really, you talk about an ant, right? Like an ant. So like your meaning, like your entire interpretation of reality is based on your senses, right? What you see, smell, touch, hear.
No, not
taste,
necessarily.
etc.?
Not necessarily. If I told you gravity exists, you're going to say you can feel gravity. But at the end of the day, it's something you can't physically see. Or
gravity in itself is insanely abstract. Like nobody can, unless you go to the moon or you go to outer space, like you'll never actually like really understand it, fully comprehend it, right?
I think the bigger picture is that there's just surfaces on Earth, and then there's space, and they have different chemical structure. But that, at the end of the day, as simple as we want to say it, it has structure to it. It doesn't matter how different they are; they're very different. But my point is that whatever created that gave the creation it made a guidance, because human beings can understand something very different. How could you define emotions? There is physical change in your body, but there's still something nobody can actually prove what sadness is.
Okay,
technically, we're not gonna.
So like, hold on. So in the world, right? The reason why I bring up the senses is because like the way that you interpret reality, everything has cause and effect, right? So like everything, if you're assuming that everything has cause and effect, the only way to logically interpret cause and effect is that everything has to be derived from one single thing. It has to be like a grand starter of everything, right? But then what if like this goes back to what somebody was saying earlier, that the actual nature of the world is not based on cause and effects. Like it's not one thing leads to another. It actually it exists in something completely beyond what we would call logic.
Would you,
because,
if I told you 1 + 1 = 2, like you would believe that because of logic, right?
But what if that's not actually the law of the universe? It's just law of like human interpretation of the universe.
But we have to go back to the first point that we agreed on, that everybody to some degree throughout history has believed in a creator of this mechanism, or do you believe that it fell to chance? I guess I would have to ask that question.
I guess I'm talking about something more metaphysical than that.
Yeah, I don't think it matters what we believe. The fact is nobody can prove anything. Like
That's
can't comprehend it.
So
guys, we're getting too philosophical. We're not going to be able to. These are going to be more opinion based. We're not going to be able to hash these out as fast as we think you could. And if we can stick to a philosophy question, right? Oledu has said something about time. He's a timekeeper. He believes that his passion is getting time. I counter that by saying, is time not existent?
Listen, bro, I just like going to Lions games. I like going to Chelsea games overseas. I'm gonna get season tickets this year, going on vacations and shit. Like that.
Get season tickets for Chelsea?
Yeah. This guy's balling out, man. All the Bitcoin went crazy for him.
Is time real?
Yes.
No.
Time is a social construct.
Okay.
Time exists.
Time does exist. It's not just a social construct. Like everything, I mean, you can model it. Like it's math. All the math is based on it.
Time is just energy.
No.
I mean, it can be represented as like entropy, yeah, but like I don't know.
This guy Olet derailed another convo. Fucking love it.
Yeah. So
Time is really the only thing that we have.
The one thing you can't buy.
It's the one everyone subscribes to time.
in my opinion, time is a
Called light.
time is an illusion. Time is a man-made illusion that we believe in.
No, we don't believe it. We've watched a child be birthed,
Yeah, I would
live its life, and then die.
When
Yeah.
we're talking about
From
time,
the beginning, but
Time.
time just means what? What is the definition of time? Are you trying to answer that, or
I'm saying
just,
you what we're trying to prove is time real.
what is your
What is
definition
real?
of time?
So when
Does
did
it exist?
see
Is it
someone
existing?
born and then die?
What is existence?
You're living it. You're living in it. The existence is having the knowledge. Like if somebody came and touched you right now, you'd
Consciousness.
feel it, right? Okay. If you heard something right now, your reality is what you're living. You're breathing oxygen, whatever you want to define existence is if you know you're dependent on something, water, food, sleep, human communication, that's existence. Otherwise, what are we saying?
But at its
bro?
most basic
But that's
level,
not
those are all
time.
subjective, right?
See, this stems from Ole Duet talking about his passion is getting his time back, buying his time, and getting as much time as possible because he values that. That's his passion. And then it drifted towards a more like creationism, more philosophy, like more. We're not gonna be able to solve those, but we can ask the question.
Hey man, get
is
us on the
time
next
real?
topic then. We don't need the whole rundown. Jump us to the next topic.
I'm saying that clocks are real. Time is fake.
Wait. Can we talk Lions tickets 1 second?
All right, hang on. Well, go ahead. Then we'll switch to the next topic. Let's talk Lions.
How much
actually
did
curious
for
about
the
Lions
season
tickets,
ticket
bro.
holder? How much did the price increase?
It went up people freaked out because it went up so much, but we went from 8 home games to 9 home games. But it probably went up 20%. But I upgraded to the club because I'm not a broke ass bitch like Olet, and I didn't feel like waiting for long bathroom lines anymore. So I got club
What's
seats.
the cost?
All right,
Paid a lot more.
that's all I wanted to know. People are bitching like it was like I just didn't. I wanted to hear for real.
20%.
No,
I want to know the cost though. What's the cost? What's the cost for club season tickets?
Just time, bro. It just costs time.
Don't do this, man. Don't do this. Give us a ballpark.
I mean, if you have to ask, you know how the saying goes.
This guy doesn't have season tickets, man. Ali likes to flex.
What do you mean? I was at every playoff game. You know me.
Hey, AZ likes to flex. So if he truly had the club tickets, he would have told me the price.
All right, I'll take you.
Let's do it.
Hey.
The main showrunner today is Are You an Elitist? And this stems from Web Gems last week, really getting in the chat, provoking everybody, and then he
Who's
side.
Web Gems? Who's Web Gems?
He might be. I think he's watching it right now.
Who is he?
I'll
Like, who is he to you?
What? No,
Web
no
Gems?
clues. No clues for Web Gems. Web Gems he'll reveal himself when the time's ready.
He
I
was
know,
at
but,
my
like, who is he
wedding.
to you? Like, what's your relationship to Web Gems?
He was at my wedding. That's all I'll say.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
So Web Gems, hits us with a lot of elite talk. Basically making himself superior out of nowhere. And I found it fascinating. I'm like, bring this energy on the stream, and then he completely radioed the stream, and he was doesn't fall. He responded today, but it doesn't matter about Web Gems. But the question is do you consider yourself an elitist? Do you are you not? Are you anti the elitist?
Can you define elitist for us?
An elitist is somebody who thinks that their socioeconomic status and education is superior to somebody else's. Basically, they
Based on what criteria?
Isn't it an objective fact though? Unless I guess you can make.
It's not. It's objective.
Money's objective, right? But
it's an objective to the elite. It's an objective to the elite. Meaning is that they'll reject somebody who's not who could be the same. You have 2 report cards.
No. You can't leave your. Yeah.
I will say, bro, it's
hang on. I was finished. You have 2 report cards that they're scored the same exact, but one is in the elite class, one is not. They're always gonna pick the elite class member, or you can have an A and a B. They'll take the B because he's an elite class versus the A. That's kind of a better definition.
What is the elite class?
If you're not very careful and very intentional to not turn into that person as you advance in life and surround yourself by people of the same class, eventually you'll just assume that that's the norm, that's what you should be, and you'll start to look down on people that aren't at your perceived level. So I would say that everybody would turn into an elitist unless they're very intentional not to.
I think that's the argument for like the meritocracy. That's like kind of when you judge everybody on an equal playing field, but that's like a facade to what you just described. Is if you do that, then once you get into the classes, you're gonna just stick to your socioeconomic class. So that's
Do you
one
think there's a
argument.
difference? Do you think like there's a difference in elitists, like as opposed to somebody that inherited a lot of wealth versus somebody that built a lot of wealth from nothing? And they're both elitists? Do you view them as the same?
An elitist isn't necessarily just a rich person. You know, money is a factor in elitism. It's not
I
the
get
whole.
it. But let's say they both act elitist. Are they different classes of elitist, or do you bucket them? Would you bucket both examples into the same?
A true elitist would never like think like that, because it's you don't, to them, the reason why they consider the elitist is because they're superior on every aspect of life. It doesn't matter if you're richer than them. It's just because, you know, your grandparents won the lottery, they live in a trailer park, they pass away, you inherit all their money. Just because you go to the nice restaurants doesn't mean now you're a part of the elitist club. It just means you're gonna go eat next to them. They're not gonna accept you.
Abe, is this coming from a place of contempt? Or what's going on
It's
here?
coming from a place of web gems becoming an elitist. Yeah, he became an elitist, and he didn't. In his eyes, he doesn't see it that way. So we're trying to, and he's awoken. I told him he's awoken.
How is he elitist towards you?
I just texted Web Gems. I said hop on the stream. He responded, "Fuck no."
He's afraid. He's afraid.
He's an elitist.
He's an elitist. No, he's an elitist.
Yeah.
He specifically told me that if we had 1,000 followers or whatever watchers, he would jump on, because in his brain that's the metric of success. Is he's in his social class, he looks at, oh, okay, well, if there's a lot of people, I'm going to jump on, because that's an elite level of, that's a form of an elite in that industry, in this industry.
So how is he elitist towards you? Is that he just wouldn't come on unless you had 1,000 people watching? Essentially,
yeah. I mean, how he was talking, how he was speaking towards me was super insulting in reality. But if somebody,
wasn't he was in here chatting though, right? Or did you tell him to come in and you wasted his time, or what?
He was never.
I can confirm that he was speaking to Abe in a very elitist manner.
Exactly. So you know, that doesn't really hurt me in reality. It just, I told him, please bring this energy on the stream. We need this. Like I tried to recruit him heavily when I found that out. I'm not an elitist. Even people you maybe, I think somebody's calling it before, but I'm 100% not elitist. I'm actually like anti elitism, because it becomes it's kind of like who you know type situation when you get down to the line of it. So you don't judge somebody on performance, on abilities, on anything. It just literally becomes of a who you know type situation. It's kind of like when we're in Lebanon, you don't get a job unless you're in the game, unless you know people. And in America here, I think we're past that. We're more sophisticated than that.
No, we're not, bro. You know, people I know that have gotten their jobs because they knew somebody. Like, we're not past that. It's like the same everywhere.
The higher up you get, the more prevalent it becomes.
Sure. So that's
why do you think there's like these DEI programs and stuff like that? It's because literally a lot of these people, in no fucking world would they ever get a job, because everybody who already has a job is just gonna get they're gonna get each other's kids into like a corporation or something.
Okay, so how it goes. That's more like nepotism. That's a form of elitism, but we're talking more of like it's an ideology being an elitist. You know, it's like, I'm not fucking with you. Even if you work at this company and you're in it, I'm not fucking with you at all, because you're not like you're not in my
Why
pool.
Why was WebGems chatting in here in the first place? Is it because you told him to come on and he was expecting something else, or what?
I mean, I'm pretty sure WebGems, anytime he's in the chats, in the gaming chats, or even it's always insulting me, which is fine. You can boo us or woo us, you know, at least you're making noise.
No, but answer my question. Like, why was he here to begin with? Like, if this is like such a peasant stream, like, why was he here?
It's not. Nobody's called it a peasant stream. I'm saying that his ideology.
It's not worth his time. I'm asking you a question. So, like, if this chat is so not worth his time, why was he in here chatting?
It became beyond the stream. It was beyond the stream. It was more of like personal attacks, like towards a group of individuals. We'll just keep it at that.
You can't stand for that.
But where does he get that? But the question is, where does he gain that? Did he hit the ladder? Where did he get this level of confidence? Who let him in?
The situation in question is that it's basically somebody living in California is inherently better than anybody living anywhere else in America or the world, all because they live in California. It's kind of the root of the of the rift here. That's what Abe got hit with.
Yeah, essentially. So it's kind of like, so in my eyes,
okay, I remember this comment. So basically, they said that you're retarded because you live in Michigan.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
basically.
I mean,
Now,
okay.
So
I mean, there's something to that. Like, Michigan does suck
Bro,
compared to
that's
California.
propaganda. Like, people from California in
Trust
certain
me.
places don't really realize how much they're brainwashed.
No, I lived in San Francisco for 2 years. It's a fucking shithole, and that state fucking sucks. And you couldn't pay me enough to move back to California. It's just like, when you spend something on a lot of money and somebody asks you how it is, and you always say, "Oh, it was amazing. It was the sickest thing ever," because you never want to admit that you just blew all your money. That's what living in California is like. You get sucked in the game, you get trapped, and you want to say how great it is, but deep down, you're getting fucking rocked by California the whole time.
But aren't the economic opportunities out there kind of unmatched though, right? Like,
No,
being
bro.
real.
It depends.
Maybe 20 years ago, like,
all the FANG
people
companies
that-
are out there, bro. Like all the FANG companies are
bro,
there.
the employees can't even go downtown to work. They're scared. They're getting mugged, bro. Like, nobody wants to work in California.
All right, man.
let's keep this more. Let's keep it more in the ideology of elitism, because the California culture and system, that's a little bit different, because it's like, did you gain this elite frame of mind because you were around the elite, and all of a sudden the facade is that you're a part of this class because you're around them. But in reality, if a true elitist won't accept you either just because you're around, they don't accept that either. But you have a false sense of elitism because you're there. And that's kind of the root of the philosophy what we're trying to digest right now.
You want to know what living in California is like? It's like buying a Cybertruck. You look like a fucking idiot. It's retarded, and then you're gonna tell everybody how much you love it, even though it's the worst thing you've ever done in your life.
I mean, the weather's really nice. I'm playing devil's advocate here, right?
Yeah, but
I mean,
I don't.
At least you don't get 6 months of your life robbed by the wintertime.
Fuck that. You saved some
To his defense, to WebGem's defense, he never mentioned one time about California. To his defense, he never mentioned it. He never said it. But if you take that from what like the California ideology, if you take that and run with it, sure, you can put it. But I think his was more deep internal when it came down to like he's an elite, he's a superior now. He graduated, all because he's around it, all because he's there. It's that kind of mentality that's troubling to me, and it's just like it holds WebGem's back, and it holds many other people back. That facade that I'm an elitist because I'm around them.
I think that's just people. They have to convince themselves that what they're doing makes them better, because I truly don't think it does. And like, when you get so caught up in the tech bullshit, the California bullshit, whatever it is, like, you have to brainwash yourself to a certain extent to continue to keep up with it. Otherwise, like, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah, I mean,
if you want nothing to do with California people, then like, I think that they probably all think that they're better than people that don't live in California, right? Oh, whatever.
I mean, you could argue that the average IQ of a California resident is higher than the majority of other states.
Okay.
Okay, so let's ask you. Do you guys, now that we just kind of we didn't, can you guys openly say?
Let's pull up the statistic. It should be pretty simple.
Can anybody say that if they're elitist in here? Can anybody like say, hey, they define themselves as an elitist?
Bro, everybody.
Oh, I know who WebGems is now. Okay, I got it. And I know now why Abe is so mad at him.
I'm truly not mad at WebGems. There's nothing WebGems would ever say to me that will ever affect me.
Why would you even tell him to come watch this fight?
I believe he games as well.
Oh, okay. Well,
glutton for punishment.
You should have known what was coming, Abe.
No, we accept everybody in here. There's no we got doctors in this in the group, we got lawyers in the group, we got real estate owners in the group, we got business owners, we got high earners in the group, corporate earners in the, we have all sorts of people in here. There's no like this is a free platform for everybody. So there's no like, you could say that there's an elitist to this platform where you can't just come on the platform just to, actually you can, to be honest. We really accept anybody right now. But so nobody will nobody wants to admit if they're elitist or not.
Everybody's elitist, bro. Like I said, it's human nature.
Yeah, I'm struggling to understand what the definition of elitist exactly is here, but I agree with them, Rob, that like everybody becomes more and more elitist as you grow up the social ranks, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, Liz, have you ever gone up shopping and you're like, okay, am I going to go to Meijer or am I going to go to Walmart? And you're like, man, college I might have gone to Walmart, but I'm not dealing with the craziness today. I'm going to go to Meijer. That's a real life thought process that probably thousands of people have every day in the Midwest. That's elitism.
Same thing. Like, do you go to
I love
Payless?
that scenario.
Do you still go to Payless, or did you start going to like Finish Line or Foot Locker?
Exactly.
What I mean?
Exactly.
Bro, are you going to Aldi or Walmart?
Right. Spirit or, American or Delta. Like, come on, everybody makes those decisions and it all comes down to elitism. Do you have the means to put yourself in a situation that's less stressful?
Just because you do things that you think are higher class doesn't mean you think that all of a sudden anybody who goes to Walmart is a loser versus anybody who goes to Aldi is a winner. Yeah, you are. You're basically that's what you're saying. You're saying that
I'm saying,
I go to Aldi, I'm better than those peasants at Walmart.
No, if you go to Walmart, chances are you're going to be waiting much longer to pay for your items. Walmart doesn't have tap to pay. Do you really want to, bring your card and your wallet in, or just use your phone and use Apple Pay? I mean, like, these small decisions.
No, you're missing the point.
Let's be real for a minute. People don't go to Walmart because they don't want to look at Walmart people. Straight up, that's why you don't go to Walmart.
They don't want
Like,
to deal with it.
don't give me all this like lines are too long. It's obvious why. It's because nobody wants to go and like deal with the Walmart people.
I would agree. Meijer, like, I don't want to see people at Meijer. I don't want to see people at Walmart. Like, I'll go to nicer grocery stores for convenience, though, too.
I mean, I just go to Costco.
Look at Whole Foods. Like, people shop at Whole Foods, buy all their groceries there, and then you got the Meijer crowd. Like, there's levels to it, and it's all elitism, and it's based off capitalism.
It's not.
That's what they want us to do.
It's not. It's not.
It is though.
And you described it properly. From your angle, yes, you're right. From the angle of like economic standpoint, it's cheaper or nobody tap to pay, all that stuff. That's not the conversation. The conversation is basically saying I'm superior than the next person because now I'm in this sort of wealth class. I make six figures, so anybody who doesn't make six figures, I don't even want to acknowledge them. I don't even want to hang out with them. They can't come over. Type elitism. That's what the true elitism is, and it's kind of beyond
You're talking earning potential. You're talking dollars earned, bro. It's much deeper than that.
It's about like your family name and your legacy. That's where like real come from. It's like not you make six figures. It's like, oh, my family is we're too highbrow. I could never date so I could never date somebody from that family type of shit. That's like true elitism.
Right, exactly. So like I can only go to Harvard because they should only accept people like me. They shouldn't accept anybody else.
Bronson's insane.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in this stream is like that. None of us, at least that I know of, come from like prestigious lineage of families and fucking whatever.
I don't know why Abe's so charged up on this. Like, why are you so charged up about this, bro?
I've dealt with this question for the past 6-7 years, and it's one of the situations where I've kind of had to understand.
The answer, you just don't want to admit it.
No.
What are the elitist cards that people are pulling on you, Abe, that got you so worked up?
We don't have to go that deep into it, but I can just tell you that it's not just real. It's real in this. It's real in the sense of like there's gatekeepers. Elitist is like a gatekeeper, right? So there's gatekeepers to any door you want to get into. When you want to climb up certain industries, whether it's fashion.
Is WebGems gatekeeping you?
WebGems is not an elitist. WebGems is not an elitist. I hate to break it to you. WebGems is not a real elitist. He has a facade ideology that he's an elitist. He's not a real elitist.
This guy WebGems has you in some type of like cyclone. You got to break free. I don't even know who this dude is.
You know who he is.
It doesn't matter who he is. It doesn't matter who he is. There's millions of people like WebGems who conduct themselves as elitists thinking that they are, but they're not. And those are the people who I have the most issues with at the point, because then they'll do anything to stop somebody else who's
I think WebGems should be
got
to
it.
defend themselves because you're going in on them right now.
Oh, he was gonna get he wanted the whole. He told me he wanted the whole smoke. He wanted the whole thing to be about him today. He literally said, "Scratch everything, only talk about me." I'm like, I'll destroy you. If you really want, but it's not. It wasn't about. It wasn't really about him. It was more like his philosophy and ideology of things to deal with in the world. So I think we've milked elitism. That could be like we can hit that back a different time. With the other people. I might ask that question a couple different times to different people. Who we could have asked. Dr. Mindeye last week because he's a doctor, and a lot of doctors, when they become doctors, they start like having that elitism towards like, I look down on everybody who's not a doctor. Fuck the nurses. and everybody else who's in the hospital.
But can I say something about hospitals, bro? Doctors, when we're talking about elitism and ranks, C-suite and high-level admin would still take the cake.
You have to think, when I'm asking this question, am I thinking lesser of another person because they're not me or they're not part of me in my thing? It's not about anything else besides a philosophy of like, I'm greater than the X. That's kind of the hierarchy. What we're saying is WebGems is greater than everybody on the stream. The next topic we can do. Were you guys into the Drake and the Kendrick stuff?
Yeah, his bodyguard got shot in the chest.
Who do you guys think won? And did they go too far?
I think it's clear who won. And when you put out a track saying that you're not a diddler or a child molester, you have lost. So you just can't put out a track saying that you don't molest children and win a rap battle.
Yeah, that was kind of rough. That track was rough.
Do you guys think that Drake actually fed the whole line about him having a daughter to Kendrick just to see, kind of like smoke out like his I believe his internal enemies or whatever?
I believe there's no way that somebody can make. He had to have been fed that information. That wasn't on any blogs or Reddit or anything until that song was made. So it wasn't like you could go find that in like the underground of this may be true. I think they planted that. I think that Drake wins. I didn't like the last. I didn't like the Heart of Six or whatever. I didn't like that song because of the line he said that we knew you were gonna go out the pedo angle. I didn't like that line because it's kind of like why would you assume that? Who the hell assumes you?
He said he was too famous to be a pedophile, which was just like, what?
Yeah, but I think the Family Matters is probably the best song. The second best would be the Kendrick's the banger he made, the You Not Like Us. Yeah, that was the best. I think Family Matters and that are the best songs, and I think that the Drake's other stuff is better, to be honest. And I think Drake wins because Kendrick put a whole diss song about that was all fake, and he took a lot of he basically they're trying to end each other's career. He went too far. I think they both went too far. I don't think really anybody, like, I would say Drake wins, but not by much. It wasn't like a freaking landslide. But in reality, they both ended up losing because I just don't think that either one of them want to walk around with either one of those allegations on them. Like, I'm not gonna go hit up Kendrick for a brand deal right now if I think that he just beats his girl, right? I'm not gonna hit up Drake for a brand deal if I think he's so I think they both lose, but we're talking about bars. I think Drake had the better.
I think nobody agrees with you on that.
Yeah, that's a hard pass on Drake winning. I just don't see it. Like, I can't even tell you what his best bar was in the whole thing.
The second verse, I mean, the thing with Drake is Drake was taking on not just Kendrick, he was taking on everybody. So Family Matters, he basically rips apart everybody.
But he did that. He didn't have, like, Kendrick went straight at Drake because he was beefing with. Drake just didn't have enough to go at Kendrick with, so he brought in other people. So I actually think that that's like a mark against Drake in the whole beef.
Now, I think that Drake's mind was like, F everybody. I sat there and I helped. Everyone says that Drake's a culture vulture. Drake went and took the, Need the Migos, used 21 Savage, used Young Thug. In reality, every one of those people, they needed Drake. They needed him to cross over, and Drake helped everybody cross over, and Drake benefits. But at the end of the day, you can argue that who are the Migos if you don't think
I don't think you really understood the jab. I think what Kendrick was trying to say was that, like, Drake was like this black culture outsider and like industry plant almost, and that he was like basically like a colonizer.
Yeah, I mean, you have to
He
remember,
helped the culture. He helped rap. He helped all of them.
Well, that's not what Kendrick thinks.
No, he's a Kendrick's wrong.
Jew. Like Drake is a Canadian Jew, and then he comes in and tries to act like he's from Atlanta, and he vultures on their culture there and uses them to build his street cred. He's like not the person he comes off to be. Is his music great? Hell yeah, I love his music. But like his actual persona is completely made up and fabricated. Whereas like Kendrick Lamar, like he's actually.
But do you remember his like British rap phase?
Yeah, when he put on all the British rappers that nobody would know about without Drake.
He was not.
But he was even rapping like he was from Britain.
But he was not to benefit any grunge rappers in the UK. Like
he benefited the entire grunge rap community. I promise you. He benefited them to the max because everybody knows about them. Everybody
That's-
found out about them. They found out about gigs. They found out about he has a guy on tour with him right now from the UK. It's not like he's sitting there milking these guys and like stealing their shit and then not giving back. He gives back wherever he goes. So it's like that's why you can't, that mark on him is not real. It's just, it's part of the rap, the diss.
You don't very objective on this. You sound like a fanboy. Honestly,
I was gonna say Kendrick wins, but when I found out that the whole he doesn't have a daughter and all that, I'm like, whoa, that's a huge like everybody raps, everybody like lies in the beefs, right? But that's kind of like more of like you can't get that fucked up, you can't get that wrong, because then I got to question everything else now that came out of Kendrick's, and him saying he's a culture vulture and he stole everybody's thing and he needed no. You got to go double take that and think of what really went down, and then you look at, okay, well, this is just part of the rap beef. It's not real. And Drake, people want to say Kendrick's the best rapper of the best rapper, and Drake not only went bar to bar with him, he in my opinion he won, but he competed.
He didn't go bar to bar with him.
He competed. He
didn't go bar to bar.
He beyond competed.
You can say this is what you can say is that the case that Kendrick was making regarding Drake was somewhat weak in some areas. Like the whole daughter angle was probably stupid, and like I don't really know what the evidence that Drake's a pedophile is. Like I know he texted that Stranger Things girl, but I don't know that he's actually like a pedophile, and that was probably overdone. But like you can't deny that the quality of the rap and like the cultural impact of the rap from Kendrick Lamar was like way more hype.
Just one song, everything else will put you to sleep, man. Everything else was just like was classic rap.
Song,
yeah, but Family Matters is up there.
No, it's not, bro. That song sucked.
No, the problem is
I can't even tell you what that song was.
The problem is with that song is Kendrick like diffuse that song, because he drops a song an hour later that's basically saying that Drake's a pedophile and he has a daughter, X, Y, and so it basically diffused it was so shocking that you would hear that, and then you're kind of like,
Art of War, baby, Art of War.
Okay, but go back and listen to the song. You listen to how it goes.
Art of War.
Crazy.
If you never fight somebody on their terms, you always fight on your own terms.
Oh yeah, we could say that too. But I mean, like,
the second you start fighting on somebody else's terms, you've already lost.
Yeah, I think. But my only mark is Drake shouldn't have put that last song out. And how we went off with that song, I just don't think that it was a good move. But I think he had to do that. I think like you don't respond to that, what happens? You're gonna be fucking deemed as a damn pedophile. So you kind of have to respond to it,
You do not make a song claiming that you're not a pedophile like 18 times. You just don't do that, because nothing will make you look more like a pedophile than doing just that.
I honestly, bro, like to me, it actually helped the case. I'm like, okay, I don't think I never thought he was. After the song, I'm like, man, this guy was really like. I think it makes him. You could say he loses the rap battle, but what does he win? He wins that you can walk away saying that this guy just lied on Drake on every rap that he made, and Drake's can walk away not being a pedophile but losing the battle.
I don't think that last song by Drake changed anyone's mind. Like if oh wow, Drake said it in his song, so he must not be a pedophile. Like people either think Kendrick Lamar is just like talking shit about it, or they actually believe him. But like I don't think anything Drake can say is gonna change anyone's opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody thought Drake was a pedophile before that damn song, before this little rap beef, and nobody thought that.
I think a lot of people did actually, because it was a really common thing people have said.
Definitely, you talk about like looking on the Reddit and the dark, for the rumors. There's been a lot of these types, not about an 11-year-old daughter, but about him getting underage girls. That's definitely been out there.
Yeah, but when you know that you can manipulate underage girls, could be like a 19, 20, 21-year-old girl, 18, 19, 20.
By definition, that's not underage, my guy.
Right,
underage is under 18.
Yeah, but
under 18. We're talking about under 18.
Yeah, there's only, to my knowledge, to the research that I did, there was only one 17-year-old girl that he brought on stage that they made like comments about her breasts that they didn't know she was. His team brought it, didn't know it was 17, and that was
not kind of on him. If you're like world famous.
Yeah, but this was 10 years ago. This was 10 years ago at a concert. He brings somebody on stage, and that's the only thing I heard. If that's all you have on me, there's no way you can say that there's any rumors that I'm a pedophile or anything like that. The thing is, I can't believe people actually thought that he was. Like, it's crazy to me. There's a difference between fucking with younger girls. than like being a pedophile.
Why are you defending this dude so vehemently? Sounds like just sounds like you're fighting for him.
I was pretty objective, I believe, during this whole thing. And I was really upset when I found out like the daughter thing, he got planted, he was just shooting thing. And then I listened to like how he tried to spin the Drake like needed all these rappers and how I'm like, bro, if Drake did that and just dumped them and like never fucked with like then you could say it, but you know he put everybody on. He put on industries, he put on Afro beats, he put on the UK rap, he put on more Atlanta rappers, Houston rap, like he put on so many at this like for a long time that it's hard to discredit somebody. And to say that is like kind of like you're rewriting history.
Then how do you explain like the people that have worked with him that don't fuck with him anymore, like Future and The Weeknd and everybody who's like, fuck this guy, he's actually a huge vulture. Like because there's anecdotes of that.
Because Drake kissed Bella Hadid. That's why The Weeknd doesn't like him. Futures was mad that Drake took 21 Savage on tour. I think that was the gist of everything. Or he made an album with him.
I don't know if those are the reasons.
Those are like I said, I'm not really like I try to be objective as much as possible, but you know, you can't, I don't like people rewriting history. Now, I'm not saying Drake's a fucking angel. I don't think I'm not saying he's, all the shit he does is good. I'm saying there's a lot of stuff that Kendrick said, like but the degenerate gambler, yeah. The money problems, probably, yeah. Like all this other stuff, you know, like the girls he picks, probably, yeah. But I don't think like
literally, basically, you're saying like, yeah, everything like Kendrick Lamar said was correct, but
no, I'm saying is like he could have harped on those more, and then you know, but I guess there's a little in the battle rap. There's you know, little tricks and stuff you do.
Art of War, baby.
There's that here. So yeah, that was basically the gist of Run from the Smoke. That was basically the gist of that. Everybody was talking about it. They wanted me to live react on Saturday. They wanted me to do all these. I'm like, nobody wants to do it with me. Like I can do it, but like I wasn't gonna jump like that on everything. The main thing that we're like I really wanted to dive into right now was the do you own your model for like you know yourself. It was
own
a big
your motto.
Yeah, we could talk about this right now. We had a lawyer gonna jump on this because this is kind of more like it ties into the last week when we were talking about the legal aspects of AI and how people are using it and who owns what. Now, the question is like we have the platform here. We have the AlphaBot, right? Everybody loves the AlphaBot. It helps us out. It does a lot of different things. It's it's getting better every time. The question is this right now: who owns the AlphaBot? Do we own the AlphaBot, or does Alpha own the AlphaBot? How does Alpha claim that? His model. Alpha's model is a stack, right? So his stack would be, what would it be considered? His likeness, his voice, his image, whatever he wants to put in his stack to be used, that should be his. But right now, do you own yourself? Do you own your content? Do you own your image? Do you own your likeness, your voice? Do you own, how do you get ownership of that? That's the question I'm trying to find out. I don't know the answer to it. And then we can dive into like, what do you think you should be able to own? And then how do you get, like, how can it be argued that you give up your likeness in your model, your AI model, to third parties?
Are you trying to buy my likeness, dude?
I'm asking how much, if I want to buy your likeness, how much would it be? How much would it be? If I want to be like, this is I'm the AlphaBot, I made the AlphaBot, it's my voice, it's not really yours. I can make the AlphaBot sound better than you. How do you stop me from using the AlphaBot legally? Or how do you take ownership of the AlphaBot legally?
This was literally a Black Mirror episode.
It was like,
I never got into Black Mirror, man. I never got into Black Mirror, to be honest. I kind of shot.
You probably never got into it, but you watched every episode.
I never watched it like that. I think I made maybe one episode. So what was the answer? How do they get their likeness? I don't get it.
I think your basic question is, do you own your own likeness? And the answer to that in the United States is yes.
Correct. That's legally fact. You own your own name, image, and likeness.
Until
you can
when?
Sign it over. Unless you license it or sign it over.
What about you?
You can get screwed in the way that you structure a contract when you sign it over, like if it's in perpetuity or at their own discretion. So like the legal fine print is incredibly important there, but you do own your own name, image, and likeness.
Okay, so let's switch it a little bit. You go to work. You work at a company. They are now, unbeknownst to you, they're cloning you as a worker. Everything you do, how you work, and all that, they're cloning it, and now they're going to capture your workflow and they're going to convert it into an AI.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine if you're on company time using computer, and it's in their policy, and you're using their equipment, you're in their facilities.
But you're using your brain, your skills, your assets. So you're okay with give me the check, and then whatever you take out of me, you can have. It's yours.
I mean, that's kind of how it works in any job, is that they bleed you dry for assets, and when they don't need you, like that's no different than a factory worker. Like when they move to automate something and lay off a bunch of people in the factory, it's the same concept. And I think companies are always looking for ways to improve efficiencies, cut costs, and that comes at the cost of workers a lot of times. It's just like, yeah, we get AI is going to take jobs. It's like, find a job that AI can't take.
No. We're not talking about AI taking jobs. I tried to use that example to try to. So okay, you have to do a Zoom call with a client. Your company's kind of upset at you, right? They were able to, out of all the Zooms that you did, they were able to recreate an AI image of you, and they now use you because you're still working for the company, but you're not actually there, and they're using you now to talk to another company to get the deal done because they've either lost faith in you or they're doing it unbeknownst to you for any reason that they want to do. Are you okay with them doing that?
Well, they would. It depends if what you signed in your contract. If you said they can use, like, after termination of your employment, they can continue to use your name, image, and likeness. Like, hey, if they gave me $1 million to do that, maybe I would be okay with it for a time limit. But like, if they did that without it being in a contract, I'd just sue the shit out of them and make a shit ton of money.
So now when I said it's the wild, wild west of AI, there is no contracts. There is no anything that have any of those stipulations in there. That's why it's very important right now to kind of figure out like every angle that they're going to be using yourself and figure out ways to like combat against it or figure out. That's why I wanted the lawyer on here. We wanted to find legal ways to protect yourself from other people using not only your likeness but your special things that you can do that nobody else can do, either at work or at some unique thing that that you do. So how do you? We're trying to protect that, and I don't know right now if it's definitely not right now being able to be protected. And if we're talking about musicians and all that using their voices, all those people are signed to labels who have publishing companies who you can't use that shit anyways. So when Drake puts the song with Tupac, the Tupac estate or whoever owns the rights to his music, they flag that, get it down because they own that, So that's kind of like that's a very easy way to say, it's an easy way to look at it from the law aspect of take it down, you can't use that. But we're talking about regular people or just anybody online who, like of the ways to protect yourself. You got anything for that, Alpha?
I low-key did not listen to anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you give me the gist of what you just said?
It's you're just like the fucking AI bot, to be honest. You go watch the fucking clips. We do a 2-hour show. I throw it into AI. I get one clip out of 30. It gets everybody else talking. Obviously, I have no substance. I have no delivery aspect of it. The AI thinks I'm a retard, and there it is. So like,
wait, the AI thinks you're a retard?
Yeah, like when we're doing the clips, we put it in an AI bot. The AI puts out the clip. I have one clip out of like 35 out of a 2-hour segment, and I'm just sitting there like, wow, I had no substance. Now Alpha Wednesdays is Alpha show, so it's more directed towards the panel and Alpha. So I'm just whatever. But at the end of the day, like I gotta offer like I offer nothing, and this guy said he ignored everything I just said. Fuck it.
So I got an idea. What if we used AI to replace you as the host of the podcast? Because we have a lot of content of you. Let's try that as an experiment.
Like I said, but behind the scenes, this all this was an AI play for me. When I was doing all my deep thinking and all that, I realized, at the end of the day, like I'm gonna be, this is gonna be useful, and I'm gonna need it, right? So I had to create my own model. So when I have my own AI model, there's definitely that I'm making. So we can do that. We can try to experiment with that. And then we'll see how it floats. But that's a good example of saying that maybe I'm not good at this, but maybe I can train an AI to be better than me. But I'm not. But I'm going to take credit for it though. I'm going to take credit for all of it. But I'm going to make the AI better, and it's going to look like I'm better. So now when I go out and people think that they're man, this guy's dumb, or what the hell? Like, this guy doesn't, that's not the AI, that's not the person we saw on the stream. Like, when the level of thinking that we're thinking right now is like, we're gonna take it there. So you have to look at it from every aspect, from a phone call that you have with somebody to somebody you meet. They could do what I just said. They could make a better version of themselves using AI, and they can essentially catfish you into thinking that you are this person, and then in reality, you're not.
It's kind of like the idea of utilizing source material to make something better. Like I'm trying to think of an example of something where like the source material sucked, but over time adaptations got better. Like something like X-Men. Maybe the first X-Men show wasn't great, but people stole that source material to build it out to be something even better. But it's kind of the idea. It's just like you are the source. You utilize AI to make it better over time.
Right. So when I decide when we're doing this, is like I do it in the sense of, okay, I'm trying to have ownership of my image and my voice and my all this. So I'm going to create my own model. So I'll have that, and then I'll train that. Versus if it's going to be out in the public, right? It's a double-edged sword. You're going to have somebody else, have that information too, so they can use it against you. But if you are active with it, then you can put protocols of things I won't ever say, right? So that way, when oh no, I wouldn't. That's a fake. That's an AI, So that's kind of like why the thought exercise of saying like, okay, if you have the AI is going to get so sophisticated so fast that laws aren't going to be able to keep up with it, and there's going to be a lot of shady things going on right now, which already things happen, but we just, hey guys, I wish we had a lawyer on so we can figure out ways to make that more of your own perpetuity type stuff. Again, Alpha probably didn't listen to a fucking word I said. I'm just gonna just I'm gonna just make a bot, and I'm gonna have the bot take the last 2 episodes.
The thing is like a lot of the stuff that you're saying is like super. It's like densely packed and difficult to. It's like densely packed and difficult to follow.
Yeah, I mean, like you kind of have to have That's why the lawyer that we had, he was a business lawyer. He has a lot of different things, and he was like, he deals with like different like acquisitions. So he's looking more into this as well. So he was gonna come on. And I told him too late, so he said he was going to try to come the last 2 episodes. We got 2 episodes left, guys, of season 2 of Alpha Wednesdays, and then we're gonna go on break for till season 3, which we'll announce the date of season 3 here by like a week or 2. But how do you feel about the season so far, Alpha?
I think we learned a lot.
Right now, we're at 22,000 views.
That is impressive, I guess. Can't believe 22,000 people saw this.
Well, we got to thank the main event, AZ, for getting 10K of that. So
is that 30,000 views across YouTube? And
no,
Twitch?
that's just YouTube. Well, I haven't added the Twitch numbers. Twitch is a little bit different. Twitch it's more, but it's I mean, if I haven't added TikTok, I haven't added. That's just YouTube. So if we add TikTok and we add the Twitch, I don't even think people watch the Kick. It's never fucking. Nobody even clicks to watch that shit. If we
Kick is very niche.
Probably like 30. If we add everything, maybe 30. But we're gonna try to get a little bit higher towards the last 2 episodes. And we
are you doing your Lebanon thing or no?
Yeah, we the next 2 weeks we'll discuss what's gonna happen in between the seasons. I'm not really we haven't. Season 3 is in the works. We've picked up season 3. But we're gonna try to shop around season 2, season 1 to see if we can get an HBO deal, a Netflix deal, something crazy like that. We're gonna shop it around a little bit.
Why not aim a little bit lower? Than that?
We're talking to everybody, bro. We're talking to 2B. We're talking to everyone. We're gonna see what we can do.
What? I'm just saying, like maybe like just be a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, I know. I said the big ones, but it was for clickbait. But we'll announce more about season 3 here. Maybe the last episode, or maybe next week. How we're gonna do it.
Yeah, the thing about your AI stuff is that I struggle to see like where a lot of time when you start talking about AI, like what does it have to do with me type deal.
Oh, I have a fucking bot that we have, Alpha Bot, that I give an example to try to say that it has to do with you because you do a good job of keeping your identity of a secret, right? So maybe for you now in today's world, maybe it's not, but we're speaking more in the sense of like, I believe it's not just going to be AI. We're in an AI revolution right now. It's going to be a shift, a culture shift of how we can not only communicate, of who you can trust and what. I don't want every time I email somebody, when I get an email, I know if it was an AI email right away. If I send one too, I already know, okay, they're probably not going to know now that it's AI, but in about a year, they're going to catch the drift and understand that I don't want the world to be humanless. And I think that it's going to be the opposite. I think we're really going to get to straight. Everything is going to be AI, and it's going to get. We're trying to do thought
Why do you think everything's
exercises.
going to be AI?
Capitalism.
Because there's been so much overhyped stuff. Like, oh, this is the next big thing, and then like it's like it has like a promising start, but then it never kind of never really pans out. Like the whole electric car thing, for example, it's like that was like the hot thing for 3 years, and now it's like things are coming down, becoming more realistic. Okay, like ChatGPT came out, it was really impressive. It doesn't make money. It just burns a bunch of money for a lot of companies. So like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that one, man. It's kind of
it's a huge money sink. Like OpenAI, like what's it, OpenAI?
Yeah.
It's like a nonprofit or something like that.
What's that got to do with a company losing money using it? It's the opposite. Maybe they're losing money, but I don't know if they're not. They're
at the forefront of AI.
Yeah, and you should look at the Sam Altman. They're
the ones that do all the AI modeling. That you think that you control the AI, Abe. It's not actually the case. It's like these companies that are making these language models and like using you for data. They're the ones that own the AI, not you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that's the whole point.
These companies don't make money right now. Anyway, they don't make money right now.
And it's scary to me that Sam Altman has zero ownership in ChatGPT. What's the OpenAI has zero ownership OpenAI, and his salary is $0. When he announces that so proudly, like I'm looking at this guy like 3 different times, like whoa. Now I know everybody in like Silicon Valley, especially Sam Altman, they have a fame complex where they want to be in Elon, right? So that's for sure a certain what he's after as well. But I don't think they're that naive. I think it's beyond that. I think that he thinks that the AI, that is money. That's how, if he wants anything, he's going to use the AI to make him any dollar he needs. And that's kind of the scary part. I'm like, whoa, what's he doing behind the scenes? What is he working on behind the scenes using this? If everybody else is using it, what is he using it for too? So that's kind of it's very troubling when he announced that, like it's some kind of a.
The thing about capitalism is you always know what somebody's motive is. Just literally just to make money.
Okay, but when somebody tells you they have a 0 equity in this company and they have a 0 salary, what do you start thinking?
I start thinking that they're probably lying. That's what I start thinking.
I mean, it's public knowledge if you're getting paid from a company or not. You can't really that would be out and out.
Is it really though? Like, I mean, like, yeah, you can say that. You can say whatever you want.
Like I said, is
just like
you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head.
He says all sorts of shit all the time, but then like none of it ever comes true. Like he can say whatever.
I think he misses the mark. I don't think it's. I think you're. It's not about.
It's very euphemistically putting it. Yeah, he misses the mark.
Yeah, he misses his mark. He's overly optimistic about his deadlines, but I don't think
You don't think that that's like pernicious in a way because like he's doing it to make money. So he's basically selling you on this idea. He's doing it to make money and to like boost his own stock.
So listen, you answered your own question of the thing.
Hold on. Don't just brush.
I don't want to talk about Elon, bro.
I don't care because it's not even really. It's more so like the dude's just like dishonest, and then for some reason you think like, okay, that's just part of the game or something, or like what's?
Oh, okay, yeah. The Cybertruck's coming out in 2022. It comes out in 2024. How fucking dishonest! He missed it by 2 years. Well, what do you want me to say?
Okay, he didn't miss it by 2 years.
It's not dishonest.
By like 4 years. He missed it by like 4 years.
I think he was
like, and his stock was predicated on this like amazing truck that was gonna come out with all this like newfangled technology, and it gets released, and it's just like I don't know. I haven't been in one, but like it doesn't really look like an attractive vehicle to me. I don't know who that car is for. It's just really stupid to me. I don't know.
It's for elitists.
For the elite. For the elitists.
Yeah, it's for elitists.
You answered the question that I was asking, right? I said Sam Altman has zero stock, 0 salary in OpenAI. You say, well, all the stuff that I do using AI, all that, I don't own it. They all own it. I'm helping their data models, correct? At that point, not only the data is important, the model they're creating is more important than money. And the whole thing is saying, do I own this? Do I own the Alphabot, or does the company do they own it? So when I use ChatGPT to make images, do I own that now fully outright, or do they own it? If I make a software that I want to
read the terms of service of the stuff that you like.
Yeah, this is just TNC, bro. Terms and conditions. It's like that simple.
Okay, I understand, but if I go and I want to make something using ChatGPT, right? All I'm doing is creating that model for it, and then if somebody else wants to make it, or they see that it's a valuable model, they're saying, okay, this is good, let's take that. That now they own it. So I'm helping.
I mean,
I'm working for them, paying them.
yeah.
And
I mean,
it's kind of like what you're doing with like Google and stuff too.
yeah, or like who
Google
owns the
just
app?
uses all your data.
Who owns the app store?
Is Sam Altman saying that all the stuff is if you're going to openly say, hey, I don't have taken money from this company, why don't you sit there and say, hey, everything you use and we're they do say they're training their models with all the inputs from the users, okay, but the ownership of that needs to be addressed. And it needs to be more like talked about. It needs to be more like, it shouldn't be hidden in the terms of service. If you're going to say you're not taking money, tell me what you're doing with it and how you're using it and what you're going to use it in the future for. And don't call it OpenAI and have a closed API. Like it's just it's troubling a little bit. I think that's why Elon trips out about it. I think he's sitting there looking at it like he understands what the fuck's going on behind the scenes.
Stop it, dude. Okay, Elon's mad because his company is predicated on self-driving, and he doesn't want to be in a position where he's held over the barrel by a self-driving AI company, and that it's not vertically integrated. That's why he freaks out about AI. It's because he wants to own self-driving. His company, again, this is him. This is the problem with this guy. He hypes up everything. Okay, he's been hyping up self-driving for like 10 years, right? And now he's like miles behind in the AI race, and he knows that's a huge threat to his entire empire. So don't act like this guy's like some altruistic, looking out for the best interests of the people type guy. He's not.
Do you think Elon Musk actually bought Twitter to preserve free speech?
Yes and no. I think that he loved the platform. I think he thinks he could have made it 10 times better because Twitter hasn't innovated since Twitter existed.
He's made it 10 times, by the way, but sure.
He's made it 10 times what? Sometimes
Twitter is fucking trash, dude.
Sometimes when you're making things better, there's a downhill to make it till it gets good. I'm not judging.
He was forced by a court to buy the company, right?
I think he was trying to buy it cheaper.
No, he didn't want to buy it at all. Like
at that price.
He got forced. Obviously at that price, right?
He would have bought it cheaper
because he's an idiot, and he like got himself into like billions of dollars worth of trouble.
So so shouldn't you be happy since you're a fucking Elon Musk anti-Elon? Shouldn't you be happy he overpaid by 20 billion of a company?
No, because he ruined my favorite website. And he made it like 10 times shittier.
Okay, so yeah, you can argue
I'm not happy about it.
You can argue that.
And he's like a huge like Zionist piece of shit too. Like I really don't like him at all.
Yeah, those are all elitists, the Zionists. Those are the elitist movements. We could have used them as an example during that combo, but we don't have to go back there. But when it's all said and done, I don't have I don't know where it comes from, where this hate and this I don't want to say devil, but this like persona that people put on Elon, that he's like this evil ass human being. It seems to be popular. So I don't know where it comes from.
I don't know why you like him so much.
I just find it weird that like the two dudes you are like willing to die on a sword for are Drake and Elon Musk. Like why are you fanboying for those two guys? And
No, I never fan for anybody. I'm nobody's fan, number one. But number two, I look at Elon Musk for what he is. He's an innovator. He's a creator.
To understand Abe, you have to understand which podcasts he watches. So he watches like Patrick Bet David, who's
I don't.
Actually like a complete retard. And then he also watches like Tim Pool and probably like sometimes Joe Rogan. So like basically he's like feeding himself like this constant like
none of my opinions about Elon have rooted from any podcast, from anybody. I've fucked with Elon for a long time. I don't
but then,
think
like,
he's
this
negative. I don't know
his glaring flaws.
I'm saying that I'm an asshole, but so what? What does that mean? You can be an asshole and be the most evil human being in the world, or you could be an asshole and be the greatest human being in the world. Being an asshole isn't a good enough fucking reason for you to say that he's give all these characteristics. Just because he has asshole traits does not mean that he's evil. It's scary that people.
I'll take you back to the whole thing where you think he's like some altruist for the human species because of the OpenAI thing. When I'm telling you that
I've had these opinions before.
His animosity towards OpenAI is purely driven out of his own like.
They hold him out of the company. Position. They hold him out of the company. That's what he really doesn't like it for.
Yeah, and he also doesn't want to get fucked on self-driving.
No, and he wanted it open source, like Tesla is. He wanted open source.
You know what he wants it open source? So his engineers can steal all the fucking data, and then
as you can for Tesla. So you can go steal his open source. You can go steal his AI models. See, he's a real technologist. Real people who are in technology.
Oh my god, this guy
he
is a fucking dick rider, dude. You're a
Real
dick
people
rider, dude.
real people in the
Yes,
tech
you are,
world.
dude.
They don't believe. They believe in.
What's the tech? What are you talking about? Like, you think that? Do you actually believe that Tesla is an open source company?
I'm pretty sure all their code source is open source.
So you think the design of the cars and like
The
all
code.
the controls and like that's all open source?
The code.
Anybody can go build a Tesla by themselves right now, right?
Maybe, yeah, but can you? But look how
No,
look
they
at.
can't.
Listen. Look at the stress and the level of hardship Elon has went through. Who the fuck would want to go build a Tesla? We had the Apple conversation earlier in the season. They backed out because look how that went. It's not like a easy task. The whole point of open source isn't to go.
People do dumb shit all the time, Abe. People do dumb worthless shit all the time. It doesn't mean that like you should feel sorry for them or like that they're like heroes to humanity or anything like that. This dude's self-interested at the end of the day. He's not your friend.
The whole point of open sourcing your software is not for you to go clone it and go make the same exact thing. It's to innovate. It's to pick up and innovate, to speed up technology. When you close things like that, it doesn't help nobody in the tech community. In reality, they all find ways anyways to hack around, and there's like a united front now that any tech in reality should be open sourced, or you should be able to like, know how to build it,
I think that's like an impossible task, and like the people who are building these technologies are teams of like very highly educated people who have dedicated their lives to the construction of this like technology that you're talking about, and like just like some Joe Schmo off the street can't fucking do it.
No, but he can go take what the team has done. He can look into it and he can see, oh, I can make the seatbelt flicker if the car is, I can go take their tech and I can innovate. I can add one thing to it. That's the whole point of innovation, and the whole point of
people have been modding their cars for like decades. Like, so that's not something new. People mod mod everything that they own all the time.
If OpenAI had if they had an open API, right, for the public to use, I would never actually fucking use ChatGPT. I would just take the API and just build my own text thing, and I would just use it that way. That way I know that I'm in more control this way of my data and stuff versus me sending it to the masses. So it's like,
why don't you want to send your data to the masses? Don't you want everything to be
there's some of my projects, yes, but there's some of my projects where I don't want another company to be able to model what I did very quickly.
Why?
Because there's competition.
You want everything to be open source, though, aren't you? Like hurting technology, dude. You're like so contradictory. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you can't have both. You either gotta be.
Like, you contradict yourself in like the same fucking sentence. It's
crazy. Okay, if I make a tech and somebody makes it and they make it better than me,
you don't even know what you're talking about. You're just gibbering. It's like,
no, I got a hot boys. I'll see you guys.
All right.
See you.
I'm saying that if I make a tech and another company comes and uses and makes it better, I'm like, okay, there's a blessing and a curse. If they clone it T to the T, that's when it hurts me. If they make it better, that's good. Even if it hurts me, it's still good. They made it better. Now they did work for me to say, oh, now I should implement what they just did. So it kind of helps me. Even though it might hurt me, it'll help me. If they clone T for T, that's kind of when it hurts. Yeah, the tech thing is like it's like that kind of game in anything you're building. So
I really believe that in Elon's case, he is upset about the fact that, he lost out in OpenAI because he was either pushed out or there's like some politics involved that pushed him out. And also because his company has been sold to investors as an AI company, and he does not have the lead in AI, and he's probably not even close to having the lead in AI. And he wants everything to be open source so he can basically steal information, or like he can diminish the head start or the clear head start and clear lead that OpenAI has over him and his companies. And so like, I mean, you can argue whether or not that's good or bad, but it's not because he's altruistic. Like his concerns about OpenAI are not because he's altruistic, but it's because he's self-interested. He's just trying to pass it off to the masses as like, he's playing politics basically. He's trying to pass it off that he's like looking out for the best interests of the society, when that's not really the case.
I mean, Like I said, there's a yes and no to all answers that sometimes when you say, but like I just don't look at Elon like I don't know where that came from, where his representation has turned so like there's so much worse people in this like in the world than for you guys to brand Elon Musk like this. It's kind of wild.
I don't know. I think Elon Musk's he's pretty bad on the whole to me.
Because he's an asshole and he made your favorite website bad.
No, and also because he's like a huge Zionist and like he's just a general piece of shit to me.
Are you gonna pick and choose? Are you gonna keep picking reasons of why you don't like? Have you ever asked yourself the question of why you don't like Elon Musk, like for real?
Yeah, I told you it's because he's a Zionist and he's a liar. Not only is he a Zionist, but he's like a super Zionist. That's why I don't like him.
Was this after they forced him to go to Israel?
Yeah, they forced well, I mean, he's a free human being. He can do whatever he wants, right? And he chooses on a regular basis to disparage Arabs and Muslims in particular, and basically will repeat any talking point that Israel says, like uncritically, and like not thinking. And so what he's suggesting when he does stuff like that,
I don't watch his Twitter like that, to be honest. I don't know if he's tweeting.
Maybe you should, because like you're over here singing his praises, and like basically, if you actually listen to him talk, he thinks that Palestinians, Arabs, Muslims are subhuman. Like I think he genuinely believes that. So that's what you're signing up for. He's just like another Trump. That's why I don't like him.
I mean, you know, if you when you go down the line of reasons of why you don't like somebody, in my opinion, it has to be more like concrete of
that's
of
concrete.
the person. I don't think you can bounce around from one. If then stick to that. Don't say he's a capitalist. Don't say X, Y, and Z. Just say okay. You know he's
a capitalist. He is a capitalist.
To an extent, we're in a capitalistic society.
Like in the purest extent, he's a capitalist. There's like the dude owns factories. That's like literally in the classic definition of the word capitalism or capitalist, he's literally a capitalist.
I'm not saying that capitalism right now is bad.
Nobody's making a judgment. I'm telling you that he fits the exact dictionary, fucking not dictionary definition of a capitalist. He is a capitalist. He owns a publicly facing company on the New York Stock Exchange. His job is to maximize investor gains. He's a capitalist by that very nature. His job is to make money.
Are you anti-capitalist or a capitalism?
So yeah, I think I am.
Well, I mean, if that's your belief system, then that's your belief system. Like, you know, then you have to, when you do that belief system, you have to be like
I think I am, like, at this current point in time, because the concentration of money has gotten so out of control that I genuinely don't think that like the American government truly represents the will of the people anymore. Like the concentrated capital at this point has gotten so crazy that special interests truly rule the United States, and like what people on the ground actually, like the rest of the people in this country, what they actually believe, it doesn't really matter. So no, I'm not a capitalist. I think it's really, I think it needs to be regulated, like severely, basically. And if you don't see that, then you have huge problems.
Yeah, but when you speak of regulations and you do all that, now you're speaking into government, and then now you're trusting but you're trusting a government now to
I'm trusting a body that is answerable to me. And yeah, you can call that the government. Because right now the government is answerable to capital interest, and not to people, not to like anybody of my same social status.
I think that not only changes the world you live, that becomes into you almost are like a Chinese society at that point. You're like I thought you were anti-China. You're afraid of the Chinese.
I'm not. I'm more afraid of my own government. Let me put it that way. I have no worries about China coming over here and invading the United States.
No. We're speaking of that. Would you want to live in it?
They're communists.
Yeah, a communist country.
Nominally speaking, they're communists, but are they actually communists? I don't know.
They are
it's kind of a hard sell. I mean, they have a lot of capitalism there. Do they have the same Do they have the same wealth inequality problem as the United States? I don't think so, because like they're not far enough along. You know, they they'll kill billionaires over there.
I'm almost for certain, for a fact, that their poverty levels is greater on a not because they have a bigger population. You have to look at it from like the percentage. I think the percentage of their poor class is pretty high up. I think they have a bigger middle class and they have a bigger rich class. But I think their poor population is pretty high. You know, China is like
do you know why? But they would be even poorer if it wasn't for communism.
So this is what I'm trying to say, is like saying now it's you know, if you would say in the 70s and the 80s that, hey, I want a communist, you know how you would sound? Maybe now today that talking point.
I don't give a fuck how I would sound in the 70s or 80s. I don't give a fuck about that.
I mean, even Okay, so
Who cares?
So you would be okay switching to a communist regime with our government being the way
I don't
how
know.
it is.
All I know is that whatever this system is right now, it's not working. I can tell you that much.
Problem with
Does it have to be a
capitalism.
communist regime? Like I don't know. I don't think so. But definitely this capitalist bullshit that's going on right now, it does not work.
There's no moral like turpitude. There's no moral like in capitalism. So that's where you can start getting the negative approaches. That's when you can start getting the cynicism. That's where you can start getting all that. But capitalism, if you have good morals, but some would argue that's not real capitalism, then capitalism is freedom. Look at it that way.
It's not even about. It's not. No, it's not about. What the fuck are you talking about?
It is essentially.
So all these cops that are like bashing in these students' heads for protesting for Palestine, that's freedom to you?
What's that got to do with capitalism? Did somebody pay them to do
because,
that?
Because what's that got to do with? It has everything. How do you not see this, dude? It's because who's paying these politicians? It's like moneyed interests. Like these like ultra rich people are paying politicians to go basically regulate free speech in this country, to go like bash in the heads of protesters in this country, to literally end the First Amendment in this country for the sake of Israel. And then you're over here talking to me about fucking freedom. Like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
But you're saying that you're saying
no,
that
you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think you can correlate.
Yeah, you can. I'm literally giving you a direct correlation. Why do you think that these politicians do it? For fun? Because they love Israel so much? It's like, no, dude. It's because they're literally paid to have these opinions. They have masters, dude. And that these people, at the end of the day,
it would be way worse.
They're doing
without
what
it.
Donors want. Would be way worse without it.
It's okay. At least in this system, even though it's not working, right? At least there's a chance of a turnaround. Okay. On the other aspect of it,
not.
if the Israeli government
under this current regime, there's no fucking chance. There's no chance.
If the Israeli government told the U.S. government, right, that hey, which they are doing anyways, right, and they're listening to them, but there was no other, like you said, people backing them, right, which could be.
Wait, can you be more specific, dude? Be more specific.
If the Israeli government was telling the U.S. government, hey, stop these protests, okay.
They literally Netanyahu came out and said stop the protests. Right. That's what he literally said. Yeah.
What does that have to do with special interest groups? You're talking of how the government's formed.
Okay. Do you know what APAC is or no? Okay. What is APAC?
It's just it's the lobbyists, the people who like donate to all the president campaign.
I mean,
they pick the president.
And what are they? Why are they donating? Like,
what are they donating on their special interest needs, whatever their needs are.
What is that? What is that exactly?
Right now, the needs are Israel to be Israel.
Yeah, it's basically Israeli like Zionist maximalism is what they support, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Now let's say these special interest groups now are the opposite. There's a chance where you can get richer people to donate to other people to say, hey, these are the new special interest group. You have to have an elite class doing that, and then you can control it. That's the beauty of capitalism, right? There's a way to fight it with capital.
No, it's not. No, that's not, because now all the wealth is already concentrated in a few hands at this point, and like there's like, what are you gonna do in the meantime? Yeah, maybe over like what? Like, first off, how do you get the money out of those people's hands?
Which people?
The people who are paying off our politicians. Like, how do you get the money out of their hands exactly?
Because
there's a finite supply of money. No, you don't understand. So there's a finite supply of money in this world, right? And it's already concentrated into a few hands. So they have like more money than God, basically. Yeah. And so like, what's your proposal then?
My proposal is this: if you have special interest groups who have dollars that are greater than those in a capitalist society, you can win. Okay. Right, but it's hard, right? It's complex.
Wait. Repeat your statement. If you have
another special interest group with the dollars to match or outpay, because that's what capitalism is. If you outbid me, it's yours. I can be bought. Yeah. I can be sold. Okay, so the special interest groups, the lobbyists who are fighting for Israel, more likely than not, they're probably Jews who are doing this. Who their interest groups.
It's not just Jewish people, with Israel. A lot of different people.
Yeah, but it's the elitists, right? It's the elitists. So not just Jews, but the elitists of the class, and they're going to follow what the elite do. So ask yourself, how come? And now it gets way more complex, right? Of saying, I'm not going to put the blame on us, of saying, how come we don't have a special interest groups with billions, with trillions of dollars to go fight for our interests? You know, that's something that
very, very few groups have that. Very few groups of people have that.
Well, I think there's a lot of rich Arabs who can make it happen,
Uh-huh. And
who
so
get bought.
okay, so why okay, so then why do we have to sit back and die or like watch other people die? Why do we
I
wait
didn't want
for
to say
this
that because I'm not saying that.
this like capital accumulation to occur? That like by the way,
No.
like you can write the laws so that like nobody can accumulate money. Like you can put barriers in place so that nobody can compete with you. You know that, right? And that like that's what these people do all the time.
Yeah, you can do that, but
Yeah.
the dollar controls. If you have more money, you will get it. That's the root of capitalism. But like I said, I don't want to say that to sit there and say it's okay for what's going on. Oh, just because they got money, they can go fucking exterminate a group of people. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying when we're debating capitalism, a capitalist society allows you to compete, take those special interest groups, and to make your own special interests. Now, it's easier. It's a very easy sentence to say, but when the finite to how to do that is on a thousand
I
X
think
complication.
you fundamentally don't understand how money works, and that's why. So it's easier to make money when you have a ton of money. And so how do you like you're fighting a huge losing battle when you're trying to play a game. So remember when I said you don't fight people on their own terms, like Art of War shit. So literally, you want to fight an uphill battle while somebody can fight a downhill battle on you. Like why are you even playing that game? It's like a super like it's a loser mindset to do that. Like I don't know why you would play that game when the system is inherently unjust. Because like what if they like a lot of this money is just like inherited. It's not like it was like earned or anything. And it's not like your status is due necessarily to your own inferiority. It's because of like where you were born in life, right? So, like how is that fair?
As in what? As in how is it fair that I was born at a certain economic
Yeah,
class?
so you were born into a certain ethnicity, so that means that you get exterminated while other people don't.
No,
like, how is that fair?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that, right? But
So
I did say something. I would say like I have to watch my tone and watch my delivery.
Oh my god. Okay,
yeah, right. I should stop. Right. I'm not
So
saying
what?
that's cool.
Okay,
I'm not saying that we should do that.
What are you
I'm
saying? Despite the fact that it's being like basically this country is like party to genocide now, especially if your own people, by the way. So like, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying is that infiltrate the American the apex, the it's hard, right? It's not like you can't just be people like the Middle East can't just come in and say, hey, we want to buy out, we want to give. They don't have boots on the ground in the U.S.
Dude, shut up, man. So a lot of the people who are fighting on the side of the Palestinians are Jewish.
I don't want to say the word because whatever. But I'm just saying that they've infiltrated that, so that doesn't give them the right though to do what they're doing at all. Like not even close. I don't give a fuck what you own, how much money you have. What's going on right now? It's immoral. It's beyond immoral. So
okay, yeah, and it's largely a function of capitalism. Is my point.
And to beat it is in capitalism is what I'm trying to explain. I don't know if we're in a communist society, you kind of have to go with whatever the government at that point says. So
you already do that. You already do that now. So like, what's the big deal?
Capitalism, you have a fighting chance, right? It could
no,
be
you
a
don't.
false sense of...
No, you don't. They give you this is just propaganda, dude. So like at the end of the day, right? Like when you elect leaders and stuff, do you think that there's a huge difference between like let's say like Biden and Trump? How are they any different from each other on foreign policy and stuff?
I think that the Democrats as a whole have a lot of investments and a lot of money made overseas in different countries.
And you think Republicans don't?
I think they do as well, because you don't just cut ties and business deals when a new president changes every 4 or 8 years. But I think the focus of a Republican, of a Trump, is more the dollars and focus on the American soil of that. And that is kind of like the biggest difference, if there is a difference, because they're both the same kind of shit besides that. The capitalism, I get where you're coming from, but when the research I did and all the things that I looked into, at the end of the day, it's you have a fighting chance, even if it's a false fighting chance. There's a sense of hope.
What is the fighting chance?
Use capitalism to your advantage, even if it seems impossible. I keep a 1% situation of how we can stop this. The Israel-Palestine thing is getting infiltrating the apex with the dollars and saying, hey, we have more money, we have more resources.
Yeah. Okay, and then you think that the solution to that is just making money and basically what's a rig system?
We rig it to our liking because we're capitalists.
How do you do that when if the game of money is rigged, then how do you acquire enough money?
Join the elite class. You have to this is the land of opportunity. Right? You start your own company.
You're just buzzwording right now. So like, how do you do that?
I'm giving you the cliche answers because that's what it is. This is the country where you can come, you can start from the bottom, have your company in your bullshit garage, and all of a sudden you have Apple, right?
Yeah, that's just a bunch of propaganda.
There's you can say that a company can never be as big without a government assistance, and that is the anti-capitalistic society, and that's what a lot of times in this country happens. So this is why it's like
I'm telling you that human success is not predicated on any one ideology. That successful people will be successful no matter what system that they're in. That if you put Steve Jobs in a communist government, he'd probably be successful just like he was in the United States, because I don't know, he'd be like a technologist or something in a communist country, basically.
The question, are you an elitist, is a very, very important question when it comes down to what you just said. If you're a successful person and you're not accepted in the elite class, you'll just be a successful fucking person and you're wherever you are. You won't transition to the next level because they control it. A big part of the world in reality. So if you look at capitalism like this, right? This is an example that hurt, that kind of opened my eyes, right? Slavery, if you look at how slavery was in the US, in the South, in the North, the reason why in the North, like, slavery was abolished because innovation happened way faster in the North. Way faster. Look, New York, all this, and there wasn't slavery. They had slaves. They held them off to the longest, as long as possible. What's the way to speed up innovation? Slavery is not the answer. So a capitalistic ideology, let's free the slaves because you can make more money. We can innovate more because the root of capitalism is innovation. So
you realize that those people were enslaved in the first place because of capitalism, right?
And it wasn't, but capitalism evolves. Okay, I can have
okay. So does like communism.
Okay, so you can say that capitalism freed the slaves and then something else took its place.
I didn't say that capitalism.
I said that.
Okay, and then, so what actually freed the slaves is that because like I think there was like this very common revulsion to the idea of slavery because it was like it's a very disgusting enterprise. It's like very evil, and that made a lot of people very angry.
That was from the conception of slavery. I don't think there's been a slavery. The American slaves were the worst. I don't think there was a time when you can look at slavery when it wasn't like that. But I think the American one was kind of finally abolished because they looked at the innovation growth, the speed of how the North innovated versus the South innovated, and then they said, "Oh, you know what? Let's free the slaves that way." But what happens then? What you create the prison system that will capitalize on technically slavery on a different form, but without that stigma in there, the South can now innovate faster like the North. And
bro, you're literally just spewing shit that you heard on a podcast.
I've never heard none of this on a podcast. I guarantee you'll never hear. You'll never hear what I just said on a podcast ever. No, you'll never hear it.
I've heard it on a billion different.
Who?
I don't even, dude. I could.
That's my own. That's my own fucking. That's my own realization that when that was
pick whatever XYZ like.
There's nobody who would ever say something
right-wing
so controversial.
On Joe Rogan podcast.
Nobody would have ever had the balls to say that capitalism freed the slaves. Nobody would have, other than me.
All right, so it
sounds stupid. It sounds stupid.
I've heard the argument like 10 years ago that like capitalism, and it made sense to me then because I didn't have a context for anything else. But it's just like those people were enslaved because they're basically instruments for making money, right? You think they enslaved them just because they were evil doers or something? Like, why do you think they enslaved them in the first place?
More slaves went to South America, okay, than North America from the slave trade.
Dude, you don't even answer the question. You just launch into like the next like buzzword.
Yes, because they use them, but it didn't work. It doesn't work unless there's innovation. There's no innovation in slavery. Sorry.
Okay, sure, you don't understand. Like, okay, so here's the thing with agriculture is that like these agricultural societies relied on slavery, yeah, because they had invested all this money into like housing and feeding these slaves.
Right. In the time that was innovative. That they sort of, it was temporary innovation because you're able to get free work and that. But on the grand scheme of things, in 200 years, what are you gonna have? A whole bunch of fucking farms, whole bunch of wheat, whole bunch of like what?
Yeah, you need all that to live. You know that, right?
Nothing comes from that.
Nothing comes from farms and wheat.
Nothing
that's the stuff this is what you eat, right?
Nothing comes from like on a technology aspect. Nothing serious. There's no fast.
Okay, some people are not interested in technology. Some people are interested in farming.
Okay.
Like not everybody gives a fuck about like making the best technology. Some people just want to farm.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So What's that have to do with what we're talking about? I'm not telling you not to farm.
Yeah, because you're downplaying the importance of like farming.
I think you see, no, you're downplaying the points, but I'm telling you, it's very important to farm.
Are you gaslighting me now, or what are you doing?
Yeah, you are, because I'm telling you that farming is a very important component of the world, right? And we need farmers. We need more farmers. If you are dedicating all your workforce to farmers, then there's no innovation there when it comes to on a tech side. Not just computers. I'm talking about anything. A fucking big building is tech. A bigger house, the road system, things like that. That's the whole gist of it. And there has to be other people in society that aren't farmers, and that's not saying farmers aren't important, but not everybody's a farmer.
Okay, I don't think you're understanding what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you that these societies that did slavery, they were doing it because they were trying to make money
or save money. Yeah,
save money, make money, like whatever you want.
Okay, so now I figure out ways to make new money. I build a skyscraper. I say I can make 20x how much a farm can put out. What are you gonna do now?
You think that you snap your fingers and that becomes the case?
It gave me the thumbs up somehow. That was pretty cool. I don't know how the fuck this camera just did that. I think I just won the argument by the camera. The AI said I won. I doubt it. I'm just saying that like I'm not arguing the fact that they didn't use slavery to make money. That's fine.
No, I'm saying that you're missing the point. I'm saying that the reason why there was slavery in the first place is because people wanted to make money.
Right.
Because they were interested in farming at scale. So they weren't doing this was not subsistence farming. What they were doing is they were collecting huge plots of land and making a surplus of food to sell it, and they're using slave labor to do that because it's super cheap.
Okay.
And so this whole enterprise of slavery was done to maximize profit. So so your supposition that capitalism is a force for humanity is like based on nothing, basically.
Yes, it is. You think today in our society we can't farm more than the best slave plant in down south back in the day? You don't think that we can produce more
that's a function of
technology?
Time,
no, it's not. Yeah, it is a function of time, of innovation. And you didn't that change didn't happen in 200 years of the slaves. And they had to say, oh, you know what? We can do this faster now and better. I'm certain now we can produce more with technology when it comes down to that, when it comes down to farming and stuff. But that's the argument for capitalism. The whole point was trying to like get you to see there's evil in capitalism, but then there's good in capitalism. So
no, there's not. There's very little good.
Then I failed to articulate my point clearer to you. Like the whole fucking stream season. That's what I've been doing. So I don't know. I think that you need to be more objective.
I'm telling you that the America that you live in now, the capitalist America that you live in right now, works for very, very few people.
It works for the people who want it to work.
Really?
Some people, capitalism to me is I can go live in a small house in a trailer park. I can capitalize on the food stamps. I can capitalize on the government services. I can chill and I can have my time and watch my DVDs and my movies, and that's my life, and I will like that. And that's to them. That's how they're using capitalism.
I don't know why your instinct is to like attack people worse off than you rather than attacking the people who are actively fucking you.
One can argue that a person who's content with that lifestyle could have a better life than me, and that's a kind of a personal philosophy that you have to answer yourself. People who are worse than me. We had the whole top of the show was
the whole people who are living in trailer parks that have a better life than you.
I've met some, and I've met some who have not.
Why do you think people living on a lower socioeconomic rung than you?
Some people love peace of mind.
What's the peace of mind in that, dude? I think you're missing like some stuff.
Sometimes the word hope is a
dude,
soul
stop
sucker.
Speaking. Why are you speaking in riddles? Just answer the fucking question.
Because if I'm a person and I live and if I don't have hope, and I live in a trailer park, and I've given up on, not given up, bro. This is my life. I like this life. I want my time. I don't want all this. I don't need nothing fancy. I want my time. I want to live on this earth. I want to be I want to be a farmer. I want to grow my own food. I want to have my own
being
cow.
a farmer is like, it's like very hard, right?
Very,
like
very hard.
It's nothing like living in a trailer park and then living on food stamps like what you're describing. So you fundamentally don't understand.
I'm switching the character. I'm switching the character. Same the difference.
Like focus a little bit so I don't get confused.
The point is, we had an elitist dialogue in the beginning that I have issues with elitists XYZ and why I have issues with them, right? Because I have hope, I have prosper, I have ambitious, I try X, Y, and Z. So for me, elitists, I found to be gatekeepers or roadblocks in my path. So that's my type. So those are the people. Yeah, I have my own vendetta against them, and that's what's happening. When we're talking about a person on a lower class or anybody else who's like has a peace of mind, that's what they live for. That's what they live for. I'm not going to sit there and judge you for not wanting to have the things that I do or the drive that I do, have the goals that I do. That's not for everybody. You know, it's really not. I'm not saying it in a cocky or arrogant way. I'm saying it is fuck, bro. For me, sometimes I'm just like, for what? What am I doing this shit? Like, let me just chill the fuck out. I don't got to do all this extra shit. I don't got to wear this fucking hat. I can just chill, bro. I can just be relaxed. So it's like, I choose to do that. So it's my choice. And that there's levels of stress and there's levels of hardship.
So
that
you just
come
like like to play rigged games, basically, is what I'm hearing.
The game is rigged, baby. The game is rigged.
And it's not in your favor. So like you just enjoy like being shitted on. It's like you're just like a masochist.
No, it's not that. I'm saying that every game is essentially rigged if you
it's
speak
not.
in that context.
I'm telling you that in America, it's especially rigged. Especially right now. At this point in American history, it's very rigged.
Sure. It could be rigged for the person thinking you live a good life and you're peaceful and you have peace of mind in your trailer park chilling. It could be rigged for you to think that. It could be rigged for me to think that I can blow up pop XYZ.
Yeah, I mean, you just think that everybody that is not succeeding in capitalism is because they're lazy, right?
No, the whole point of the elitist conversation was the complete opposite of that. Again, maybe I failed to drive that point down, but
I don't understand what you're trying to say is the problem, I think. Because you speak in riddles, like you don't speak in direct terms.
Speaking of capitalism at this point, there's elitism in capitalism.
Can you get to the point?
Yeah,
instead of like talking about trailer
parks? The point
is,
in a capitalist society, there's negatives and there's positives. I choose to try to find as much positive outlet in it and with no evil. And sometimes with the no evil route that I take, there's the elitists stopping you from coming in the door. So there's two choices. You can bend your morals, or you can keep your morals and take the hard route. That's it, bro. That's the fucking thing. If you don't like the words, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to tell you. Those are the words.
Speak more clearly, dude.
That is clear. I can't be more clear.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I can't be more clear. Capitalism, there's evil and there's good in it. Okay? If you choose the evil route, you can get your successes a lot faster and you can be accepted a lot faster if you choose to not have a moral compass. If you have a moral compass, it gets harder and tougher. By who? The people of the elitists who have the moral, who don't have the moral turpitude, who don't have a compass to guide them, and they don't give a fuck.
You're just saying that like everybody's a sucker because they're not willing to stoop to the level of like these like super capitalists, right?
No, you could say that I'm a sucker for doing what I'm doing instead of not. If I really want it, if I really just hustle, I could just say fuck it by any means. Fuck everybody. Maybe I'm a sucker for taking my route. You know, everybody's journey is different. Everybody's ideas are different. So it's like for me, I just believe in morals. I believe in karma, and I believe.
Okay, if you believe in morals, then you would be very staunchly opposed to capitalism right now. If you actually believe that, but I don't think you actually do.
I understand capitalism is why I can. I
think you hold on to this idea that basically the strong survive and then everybody else should just die. That's like basically what you believe in.
No, that's an elitist mentality. I don't believe that, bro.
I think you actually believe that, and like you keep talking about this elitism thing because you're mad because somebody pissed you off, and it has like nothing to like you don't actually have a moral stand.
How in God's name do you like? It's funny. You're a funny guy. First of all, let me tell you, Web Gems, nobody will ever upset me. You can't upset a person like me. At the end of the day,
I think Web Gems really did upset you, dude.
You can't upset you.
Like,
really,
for better or for worse, I don't know.
Those things don't really faze me in reality. They don't at all. Like zero till, you know. But when it comes down to like the game of what I'm doing, there's things that that you got to go through that are just like, oh, okay, I got to play this game, I got to do that game, and sometimes I choose to do that, sometimes I choose not to do that. So it's one of those situations. Like the point is like not everybody has a moral compass, and there's a lot of people in this world will do anything. And I mean anything to get to the next level. If you're one of those people, I'll judge you on a moral standpoint, but on a capitalistic standpoint, you're doing what you got to do. So I understand it that way. So I can't be so negative and about capitalism. Will I associate myself with you? Will I put my family around you? Will I trust you? X, Y, and Z type stuff. So it's a debate.
I already know my standpoint. I've
We know
explicated it
your
clearly,
standpoint. We know my standpoint. But now, we have a large audience. So we're gonna let the audience decide what they think is a better.
I don't really care what your audience thinks is the better thing. Because like I already know like the system is super rigged. It makes no sense and doesn't really represent like the desires of the people that the government they say it's supposed to represent. So it's basically the very basic tenets of this like social contract in which we live are violated on a daily basis.
You're very narcissistic. I understand that. I think I would deem myself sometimes as a narcissist as well.
How's that narcissistic?
No, I think I used the wrong word there.
So what's
narcissistic? Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you think negative. Like negative thoughts, like negative approach. You're not optimistic.
I think you're cynical is what you're
cynical
going for.
Yeah, you're more cynical in your thoughts.
No, I'm not, because I'm being realistic.
So you're saying,
so I'm living in a country where like most people want, for example, like the war in Gaza to stop, and it continues to intensify because the government keeps providing money for it.
Right.
And then I'm being told that any criticism of Israel is anti-Semitic and criminal, even though they're committing a genocide.
Not on this stream, bro. We got hundreds of clips right now out there fucking the algorithm up with Israel Palestine. So there was some guy who commented on the YouTube one. He was like BS to one of your clips. There's a lot of alpha fucking clips. You probably don't see the YouTube shorts that we have, but there's a lot. I know you don't. For sure you don't. There's so many of them. Yeah. So
you think some random guy commenting BS on something I said like that, is that supposed to affect me or something? Or
no, man. I'm just letting you know that they're saying don't say, but on our platform, don't hold bards over here. But to an extent.
I mean, I'm saying all this stuff, and like fundamentally you can't argue against any of it.
As in, like, what do you mean?
As in, like, the system is rigged.
The definition of rigged, the system is rigged.
Why do you, for example, like, why do you think all these people are in the streets protesting?
Because I mean, like, everybody knows that I think majority of you are shocked at what they're seeing, and they don't understand that they didn't know this was going on. And I think that's what the outrage is happening. Like, they're raging. And you have this group of people anyways who will be here no matter what, real, but it's an active genocide being happening, and that's what's making it not stop, and that's what's happening. But there's a group of people if you're gonna sit there and say, hey, there's a group of people protesting, I'm gonna be like, what's going on this month type question. But the reason why they're not stopping, the reason why they're holding it, because this is an actual, not a propaganda fucking machine telling you to go out and protest. This is an actual genocide. It's actually happening. You can't hide anymore, and you see what's going on. That's why this is the real. If you look at all the protests and anything that you want to be a social justice warrior, this is probably the only actual case for protesting in the last 10 years. Sorry for all the other ones, but
Okay, aside not focusing on that. Like, I think they're protesting because they know that their government is doing something that's like way beyond what they think their government should be doing. Like the government that they pay taxes to.
Okay.
Like they think that they believe that their government is doing like a grave evil in their name and with their money, and they want it to stop, and they're not stopping. They're not listening to like the typical stuff that people should be listening to. Like if you're a government that ostensibly is supposed to represent the people. So like if you like, what does America put itself as? It says that it's like a democracy, right?
I like my answer better.
Dude, you just whatever.
I like my answer better. I like my answer better, bro, because I could say the same thing about the whole police brutality, why everyone's protesting, why they went and rioted and looted.
So do you think the protests have like no merit?
For back then?
No, like right now, the ones right now.
I think that I said that these are the only protests that are merited. So then
why are you drawing parallels then to these supposedly like unjust protests in your mind?
I never said that. I said these are the only just protests.
Yeah, and then I told you, like, what did I just tell you? I said that like you're
You didn't like that I didn't like your answer of saying that. Okay, this isn't the first time of wave of protesters that we've saw. That's the thing. I don't want people to confuse this protest.
This is by far the biggest one.
It is the biggest. And I don't want anybody to confuse. I don't want anybody to confuse this out there. I don't want you to confuse this protest with any other protest you ever saw, because in reality of it is, this is the time to protest when the best time to protest is now in these cases where it's like you can save a population, okay? Not a couple. You can save a fucking population of people, a race of people. If you protest right now, you have the power to do that, and I'm all for the protest for this if it's peaceful.
Only if it's peaceful, right?
Only if it's peaceful. If we're gonna talk something else, if you want to do something that's not, don't call it a protest. You get what I'm saying? you want to go that route,
when the police attack peaceful protesters, which they've been doing routinely, how do you feel about that?
In a protest manner, Martin Luther King
just
said.
Answer the question.
In a
bro,
protest, in a peaceful protest manner, Martin Luther King said, "Take the beating."
Take the beating.
Yes.
So you think that you think that what the government is doing is okay?
Nope. I think if you're protesting and you're getting assaulted by the police,
the government's the one that's being violent right now.
The government was violent in the civil rights protests, and they protested and they won because they were peaceful.
They weren't all peaceful though.
I think Martin Luther King's message was to be peaceful.
And
if there was Malcolm X's in there in the rallies, okay, then that happened. But for the most part, if you're going to protest, the word protest, remember that word you're saying, protest. If you want to do violent...
what's your definition of protest?
Yeah, a disagreement with the government, with a mass of people.
Why do you think it's okay for the government to attack protesters?
I've never said that. So I said, you asked me, what do you do? You asked me, what do you do if you attack a peaceful protester? What do you do if you attack a protester? You are protesting with your words and your signs and your message to scale. Now, the protest is supposed to reach the message or change someone's opinion. Now, if you have a police officer beating you up, one can argue that could help your message get spread farther. I'm not saying that should happen. I'm saying is that if you're peaceful and you see that message could go a long way, saying, look, this guy's peacefully protesting, he's not doing nothing, and this police officer just suplexes him through the table. Now the cause gets bigger. You look better.
But the point of doing that is because they're trying to scare people.
Of course they're trying to do that.
They're trying to intimidate people into not going out.
Don't go out if you're scared. Don't go protest if you're scared. That's all I gotta say about it.
I think if you're scared, you have an obligation to go protest because they're trying to make it as scary as possible.
I mean, protesting on its own is scary. So
because you're fighting power, basically.
So exactly, you're fighting power.
So do you think the police lose their legitimacy when they attack protesters?
Yeah, if it's a people protesting, expressing his freedom of rights, his American rights in this country, your voice, okay. If you're sticking to the Constitution, then yes, the police should be held accountable. It shouldn't be allowed, and if it is allowed, it's only
who's going to hold them accountable though? Because now you have a government that doesn't answer to its own people.
We are a government. We are.
No, we're not though. We're not.
We are a people.
The government. Remember my previous point is that the government doesn't represent the people.
The people represent the people.
So and what does that mean?
That means that...
How do the people get their voice heard if the government doesn't listen to them?
More people.
What does that even mean though? Just more people standing outside?
Protesting, yes.
Okay.
If that's what they're choosing to... If that's the mechanism you're using to make change, that's the answer I'm going to give. What protesting is about. That's what I think the root word is anti-violent in reality. Because there's another way, that you could do it, and it's not a protest. And you can see how that one will look. And I don't think we should look at that one. So let's not even talk about that way. Let's just stick to the protest.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think that the government has again, it's all about concentration of power and force. Like, it doesn't really make sense to go to war against the government or anything like that because they have such a disparity in force.
This government is created not by force. They don't hold a gun up to you and say, this is the next president. We're supposed to be a democracy of change.
It kind of is, though.
No, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
It's not, though.
So why are they bashing people's heads in with batons? If that's not the case,
you drifted back to the protest.
I'm not drifting. I'm not. Yeah, I am because I keep telling you that these protests are important because they expose the central contradiction in the American society.
You have a choice in November to go express your voice.
To go vote for Zionist 1, Zionist 2, or Zionist 3. Those are my choices, right?
Or you can be uncommitted.
Or you just okay.
If enough people said, "Hey, we're not going to vote," and it was the lowest turnout of vote, or something happened like that, a change could be made. Now, I'm just telling you the laws and rules of this country here. Okay, this country is, you go in November, you elect the next person, you accept the thing that they're going to say, of the changes that they're going to make, and you hold them accountable of the policies they create. That's what this country stands for. That's what it's about. We live here, so we gotta go by the rule by. Okay, I'm only saying that because you can't do this shit in other countries.
Weren't you talking about how
you can't go do this shit in other countries? You can't do.
Weren't you just talking about how in capitalism, like the most ruthless person wins or whatever, and how it's like you gotta do what you gotta do and like all this other shit. Now suddenly it's like there's no moral. Now suddenly it's like, oh, everybody has to be like playing by the rules, or like what's. I don't understand how you talk out of both sides of your mouth.
I'm saying that, and we're speaking of this country, of how to make a change. That's how you make a change, supposedly, in this country, to go and vote for the president, for their policies. You hold them accountable, and you try your best to do it that way, as best as you can. Because we're talking about protesting and making changes, right? Don't think that you can go protest in a different country and not get your ass beat by the police. Okay, this country, it's wrong to do that. So
yeah, I think if you protest in a lot of countries, you get your ass beat. But not every country markets itself as like a land of the free,
exactly,
and like talks about all day about how amazing its democracy
So then,
is.
if you're protesting and you're getting your ass beat peacefully and you're doing
What do you mean
that,
exact? What do you mean
what's
exact? You're
the
just ignoring
point?
what I just said.
What does your shield of
You're
your
just
country?
literally ignoring what I just said.
What does a shield? What does those words that you just said mean? If those were the backbone of this country, what do they mean at that point? If that's not
I
true,
mean literally nothing. It's called bullshit and propaganda.
so then you lose
That's what it
hope in
means.
this country, and then the country goes downhill.
Yeah, but it's not my fault.
It's not anybody's fault. It's gonna be the masses'
No, it is.
fault.
It's the people in power's fault. For some reason, like you have a trouble with this idea that like the government can fuck you, or like the system can fuck you.
I know the government can fuck you. I know the system fucks you. I know that there's a lot of rules and stuff you have to do. Nobody said that. I'm not a fucking super government person. You're asking me, when you ask me questions about governments and change, I have to answer it as what the correct answer to be if you're playing the government game, if you're a politician, if you're a person who believes in voting, all that kind of shit, right? So I'm going to answer your question the best way to answer it. I'm not going to answer it like, what would we do in Saudi? What would we do in Lebanon? I'm not going to answer it that way. I'm going to answer it how it should be answered in America, because that's the proper response. There's no other way I can say it.
This country is basically a lot like Saudi Arabia, or like even, I don't know, not so much like Lebanon, but like definitely like Saudi Arabia. It's like it's just gotten repressive at this point.
I mean, bro, I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. Like,
you don't know about that one.
In this country, bro, you can say fuck Donald Trump and make a song about it.
Yeah, but you can't say fuck Israel because it's anti-Semitic. Yeah, so yeah, very free.
Okay, but go say
which by the way, it's like a country. It's a country that's committing genocide. By the way, with U.S. tax dollars. Yeah, you don't have to like lecture on like freedom of speech in this country because they're actively trying to eliminate it right now. So
of course they are. And you can argue, is freedom of speech, was it a facade this whole damn time anyway? So it's like, well, like I said, they like I said, bro, it's not like shit's not fair, bro. What can I say? No.
So are you just gonna live with that, or like what?
I'm going to understand that life's not fair, and the sooner you know it, the happier you will be. A wise man once told me that.
But then you're telling me like how great capitalism is.
You know who said that line? What's the other one?
It doesn't matter.
Mr. Reed, remember Mr. Reed?
No, I don't. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, you'd be always life's not fair. The sooner you know it, the happier you will be.
And my second grade teacher is important to me. Why?
It's my third grade. I'm just letting you know. I'm just not on Mr. Reed. But yeah, like at the end of the day, bro, I feel you. Like trust me. I'm not. We're trying to make a change here. You know what I'm saying? We have that. Hopefully, some of our clips go viral. Hopefully, someone hears it and gets enlightened and the message is spread. We're doing all we can do. If we could do more, we would do it. But without us, completely having our lives ruined. Because in reality, we could have our entire life ruined by our standpoint.
Yeah, is that a fair thing to you?
It's always been a part of my life. It's never been one time in the world since I've been here that I felt like I could say anything. So I've always known that. I'm not gonna now act brand new, like, oh shit, I can't talk. No way. What? That's my favorite. What the fuck?
I mean, you just keep like talking yourself into a deeper hole.
I've described respectful jokes that are just as what we say as jokes. There's no violence, there's no malice with ill intent behind them. They're just jokes. So we have jokes here that we say if, I don't agree with the person who gets mad at him. Who the fuck are you? Oh, you don't like that I just talked about sorry, buddy. This was Alpha Wednesdays, episode 11, everybody. We're season 2, episode 11. We got 2 more episodes left of the season, and then we're gonna go on a little break. More announcements that will be later. Alpha's in the building. Had a power pack show today. He snapped today. He was longer episodes today. Longer clips. We might have a couple of different sections of this that we'll put out. But yeah, we're doing our thing right now, Alpha. We're killing the game. Alpha Wednesdays is hot. We're hot. We're big hot right now. So we're gonna shut this down a little bit, Alpha. Another one in the books. I'm gonna hit you guys up about what's gonna happen in the last 2 episodes. We got some big things in store. Stay tuned, everybody, and we're gonna end this season with a lot of random episodes. We're gonna do a couple different things. We're gonna max it out season 2. So we're gonna max out 2 more Alpha Wednesdays episodes, specifically this episode show. But we got more shows coming out. So stay tuned, everybody. All right, Alpha, it was good episode.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Peace
All
out,
right.
man.